Ladies and gentlemen, welcome into game number 7 of the Forest Acres Classic, live on Definite Fiction. It's been 6 incredible games of baseball, and we're about to be at the halfway point. It's Indian Land and Lexington. A lot on the line for both of these teams as we're looking to have some fun here. Bracket B worked out well, where TC Robertson is the winner, as then tomorrow Dorman and Airport will play for that second place game. River Bluff on the outside looking in. And then for our side, well, it all starts here. It's Lexington and Indian Land. A lot to how we're going to figure out tomorrow is determined right here. Alex Ross, and I got a special guest. No longer Sam McCutcheon. We turned to the other ace for the AC Floyd. How you doing, Tyler?
Good, good. Happy to, be on Definite Fiction.
I know Tyler's been featured multiple times in multiple years, ever since he's a freshman, right? That's when you first started? Yeah, so you've been here for years and years and years. You're now making your moves on the airways, and you get to hang out with me for at least a little bit. I know y'all have to go start hitting soon. But
probably 5:30.
That's around what Sam was doing, but it should be a lot of fun. And you went last night. How looking into this team, you faced this Lexington lineup. How did what did you think about them?
Well, I know they obviously Spivey's going to be hard out every single time because it's probably best junior in the state hitting wise. And then a lot of after him, they all just kind of were scrappy, grinding out at bats. And even though they weren't like Spivey, they still all had heart, and they tried and not striking out. Well, it was a hard out every single time, pretty much.
Yes, and that's what, I was talking to Coach Bagwell. I'm like, that's what it feels like every of these teams are. It's a lot of hard at-bats. Your brother literally looked at me and was like, there's no easy side to this. I'm like, no, this is the most talent we've ever had here at Falcon Field for a weekend. It's been a ton of fun watching everyone go at it. Of course, y'all have the nightcap against Miller. Looking for some revenge, I know.
Yeah.
It's been two heartbreakers for us, but a lot how this bracket ends up goes into what happens here. Indian Land can put themselves into the driver's seat in this tournament and have their game tomorrow be a decision whether they're playing on Thursday or not. In Lexington looking for a win. It's Braden Studebaker on the hill, and he will go against a talented Indian Land lineup, an Indian Land lineup that had a lot of base runners, but is subject to a lot of good defensive play from Miller. Before I let you hang out with me, Tyler, we're going to rock and roll through the lineups. We'll go first around the diamond. Braden Studebaker on the hill. Behind the dish, Ethan Madden at first. Alan Hegler, second. Jones Bell, short. Graham Coleman. Third is the one you were talking about, Christian Spivey. Cross George in left. Hamp Watson center. Jackson Kuiper. I'll put some music on in the background. In right, DHing for these Wildcats of Lexington will be Lawson UMass, someone who was not in the lineup yesterday. Let's go down the line to the Indian Land. In center field, leading off, Cooper Armstrong. Batting second, the shortstop, Johnny Compton. Third, Joseph Rutledge. Second, the solo shot that put Indian Land over. Batting fourth, the ace, Liam Roberson, who went yesterday. Batting fifth, the right fielder, Emerson Rose. Sixth, the second baseman, Matthew Better. Seventh, DHing, Aram Hernandez. Batting eighth, left fielder, Eli Wilson. And batting ninth, the catcher, Jackson Carroll. On the hill is the young freshman, Leo Mattern. We'll talk a lot about him when he enters the game. But Tyler, you faced Braden Studebaker, of course, on the mound. What do you expect from him out of him today?
Probably, I know he's upper 80s, pretty good. He hits his spots well. Good curveball. Lefty's never easy.
I was talking to your brother, and you said, I always forget you're a lefty. You throw right here every time. But you faced all these different kind of pitching in your 4 years now.
Yeah.
How hard is it to face a guy who can hit his spots rather than someone who's going to have high velo?
Well, I made in IP we faced a guy for Southside Christian throwing 81 lefty, and I struck out on 3 pitches because he threw me 3 pitches on the black every single time. So that can pretty much explain how much. I'd rather face a righty throwing 90 than a lefty throwing 85.
I think your brother said the exact same thing. Hopefully no one's listening in. All right. Lexington, Indian Land, Game 7, halfway point of this Forest Acres Classic. And we're halfway through day 2. Studebaker versus Armstrong. And you'll get to see this Indian Land lineup tomorrow, Tyler. It's your first look at this Indian Land team, correct?
Yeah, I've never seen him.
Yeah, fastball called, strike one in the inside third.
I know they played each other earlier in the season in Indian Land.
7-5.
Rutledge had 2 home runs.
Rutledge had 2 home runs, and Spivey had a grand slam that brought Lexington back down to 2. They couldn't complete the comeback, though. The 1-0 swung through and missed.
Change up right there.
And you know Studebaker. What does his arsenal look like?
It's pretty sure it's fastball and curveball changeup. Honestly, I saw him throw at a PBR event one time, and he did pretty good. So, and I saw him at Palmetto Games.
2 misses away.
He definitely hits his spots. I'll tell you that.
He just was off the plate right there, and the dismay of a lot of the Lexington fans to the right of us.
Yeah.
It's been a great crowd here at Falcon Field, though, for so far these 2 days. A lot of parents making the travel as the fastball's wide, ball 2. And, you know, I think is that fun for you guys? You know, you obviously come in, you get to watch all these games, but you get to see all these people coming to your field and looking at some great baseball.
Yeah, I mean, it's nice hosting a tournament, you know. Take a lot of pride in it, you know, just making it fun for everyone, keeping the field nice.
And the field looks great. 2-2 is inside, and then, you know, you've been at this tournament now for 4 years, Tyler. I mean, you know, you've never won the thing. Kind of how
yeah.
What is that? I mean, is that the mindset? Are we just going to Miller, then going after, or what's going on?
We just want to win. I mean, like, it sucks not winning something you host every single year. We haven't won since 2018, I think, right?
That sounds correct. Yes,
Yeah.
it was a three-peat. Couple three-peats we've been in the subject of.
Yeah, River Bluff obviously dominated it for like 3 years, and obviously Miller has been doing good the past couple of years.
Yes. So out number one's the ground of the second baseman for Armstrong. It's now Johnny Compton.
Shortstop, number 13, Johnny Compton.
Is this kid going anywhere?
Number 13.
Johnny Compton, I believe so.
Was it Lancaster?
Catawba.
Catawba, that's what it is.
Yeah, Catawba. He's in 282 on the season, 1 for 3 yesterday, and one of the few hits they were able to grab against Cason Wagner. The first pitch is the hard hit ball up the middle, gonna be a tough play. The shortstop Coleman can't chase it down into 1-out single.
Good pitch by Studebaker.
You know, we're also going to Sam, you know, how hard is it to be like, you know, I made a good pitch, but that was a better hit?
It's hard, because, you know,
Number 3.
you think that, like, 'cause obviously pitching's supposed to be easier. So whenever you make a good pitch, it's supposed to be out. That just happens sometimes, though.
Well, this is the one you were talking about. You said Joseph Rutledge. He was the difference yesterday. Had 2 homers in that game against Lexington earlier this year. Had a homer yesterday. Now has 5 on this season. I believe that's second in the Classic behind our own Charlie Scott. First pitch is way away, ball 1.
Change up right there, 73.
This is you think his changeup his best pitch, or do you like his curve?
Probably curveball.
You know, how hard is it to kind of mask that curveball, though? You know, you don't want to pitch it every time because even your best pitch, you know, you still have to throw it enough.
85 right there, the quarter.
Yeah, fastball, strike 1, 1-1 to count now. 1 away here, opening frame.
It's nice having velos over there.
Trust me, it saves me a lot of heartache because a lot of the times, you know, it's hard you'll be able to see kind of from this side. It's hard. You're a pitcher, so you can ID a little stuff easier, but it's harder for me to ID stuff over here because I'm a little off-centered, so the break may not be as violent as unless it's a violent break. I mean, I'm not seeing
can't see it.
I can't see the cutter out of the hand at all. Like, I can't remember who threw a cutter for us. Maybe it was Sparky last year, but I just couldn't see it at all.
Yeah.
So that's probably the hardest thing for me to figure out. The 1-1. Fastball wide, ball 2. You know, this is my favorite week of the year because, you know, of course, every prospect's out here. I'm sure you guys are all aware of that. And they all bring all their radar guns and all their video equipment. You have 2 videos in front of me. You have 2 radars to the right. I mean, it is 3 radars to the right. Lexington has their own, of course. 2-1. Fastball upstairs. Well, 3-1 to Rutledge. How hard is this now, Tyler? Again, you know, you fall behind 3-1 against a very dangerous hitter.
You got to come out. I probably wouldn't throw the fastball here, to be honest.
He was 2 for 2 yesterday with a homer. That was the 1-0 game.
Against a really good arm.
Yeah, the only game that was low scoring in this tournament. 3-1. Swung through and missed.
Change up right there.
You said you wouldn't throw him a fastball, and you're on cue.
I would not throw the fastball.
I think Rutledge was looking for the fastball. Yeah. Well, payoff incoming, 1 away, opening frame. Indian Land trying to strike early here against the Wildcats as they shading Rutledge heavily to the left side, especially in the infield. You know, he'll be someone we get to go against tomorrow. Of course, that will be potentially a game to decide who could play for a championship. It just depends on how this bracket ends up. A lot to be decided on our bracket. We kind of have the weirder path in ours.
Yeah.
The payoff.
Change up out.
And he missed wide, ball 4. For 2 out, 1 out base runners are aboard.
It's a picture from yesterday?
Yes, Liam Roberson. I mean, you got to watch him a little bit. How impressive was he?
It was impressive. I mean, I've never seen Miller not hit ever. And the fact he was I don't think I saw him throw a pitch on the plate on the flat part of the plate the whole night or the whole day. It was like everything was on the corners with him.
And he hit his spots. The last year, they 0.41 ERA this year so far. He lowered his ERA to 1.06 now.
Jeez.
Yeah, the left-hander swings and misses at a changeup. It's 0-1. Yeah, Roberson, 26 1/3 innings pitched, 5-0 in his 5 starts. I mean, that's all you can ask for out of an ace, right?
Yeah, that's all you can ask for.
He's 0 for 1 with a walk yesterday. He didn't get to hit last year. He's been a mainstay in the lineup this year, hitting .268. The 0-1.
I know they were pretty good last year. I know for a fact they were.
Very good last year. They were 1 game away from going to the state championship before Catawba Ridge beat them in Game 3. And of course, the one game they won against Catawba Ridge,
Yep.
Liam
He
Roberson.
pitched. Yep.
Absolutely. He was brilliant in that game. Now, he's only a junior, too. You'll get one more year of him. The 0-2. Foul tipped off. Roberson stays alive. And Roberson,
pitch.
one of the things I was most impressed with, everyone, I'm sure you understand, you guys get all talked to by everyone, all the media around here, and Roberson's like, yeah, I did my best stuff today. I'm like, 5 1/3
That was
scoreless
crazy.
innings.
Yeah, I saw that. I was like, what's his best stuff? I want to see his best stuff.
I think he just had more walks than he really intended
Yeah,
to.
he did have a couple of walks.
He left a lot of Mavericks on the base path yesterday. The 0-2. High and in, Roberson takes
The
it.
thing is, he executed when it mattered.
And that's the hard part,
Yeah.
You were the same way last night, Tyler,
Yeah.
I feel like it was a couple of pitches didn't go your way, and
Yeah.
you were able to execute, get out of some jams.
Yeah, definitely kept a lot of runners on base.
I want to ask how that 10 minutes, does that mess with you as a pitcher in a way? Or?
Nah, because, I mean, it had to be done. The freaking plate was like, the boxes were off-centered, so, I mean, you can't really play like that. So it just happens sometimes.
Well, no excuses, I like it.
Yeah.
Fastball low for ball 2, maybe a changeup. I didn't get to see the velo. I just saw the end where it finished. 2-2, the count, 1 away. Runners at first and second here at the top of the first. Game number 7 of the Forest Acres Classic. A couple more here on deck, and got a bunch of AC Flora Falcons very intensing watching this one. We play in Indian Land tomorrow. 2's on the way. That ball's
capped
up the middle. Yeah,
That's a hit.
it's gonna get through.
That's a run.
Being waved around third comes Compton to throw into home on a
Yeah.
line from Watts, not in time. That's the first run of the game, an RBI single for Liam Roberson.
That's a good pitch right there. Man,
Better hitting.
yeah, hitting, yep. It happens. Ball was probably half a ball off, and he still got the bat to it somehow.
And of course, Indian Land, who had yet to only put 1 run on the board yesterday, they now put 1 with only 1 out through this game.
Already making good progress for them.
They're starting off a little better. Of course,
Yeah.
Casey Wagner, the Coastal Carolina Commando.
Pretty good arm. So.
Pretty good. I don't think we actually faced them, weirdly enough, in this 3 years.
We've never faced him. No.
Which you'd think, of him being here 4 years, we would have got at least one
Yeah.
time at him.
So we got Hankins once.
Yeah, you got Hankins once. As Emerson Rose digs in, first pitch fastball, misses inside,
Then we
ball
got
1.
the
Number
sophomore,
37.
I think a sophomore last year.
Chase Cathy, I
In the
believe, is who.
championship. Yep.
Yeah, and then today, that's Talk Talking Forest Acres, says Dylan Hernandez. But there's a couple options today. It really depends on who Coach Wagner figures to throw at
Yeah.
us. Last year, it was Jacob Rexroad who he threw early in that tournament. We'll see if that's true today. Of course, Chase Cathy still is able to go, and of course, we saw Naomi Ryan last year. She may
Yep.
go again. She has not yet to give up an earned run this year.
She was pretty good.
She was very good last year. She held a scoreless in her, I think, inning and a third.
Inning, yeah, something like that.
Yeah, she was able to bridge the gap to Bobson, who was able to take us down last year.
Yep.
The 1-0 is fouled off. It'll be 1-1. This Indian Land team only averaging 4.5 runs per game. Lexington 6.
Yeah, they're definitely a pitching team.
Absolutely, their opponent batting average 197.
Yeah.
Of course, a big part of that are 2 of the races. One, of course, Leo Maddern. We'll talk about him when he heads to the hill. 1-1 count. Fastball low, ball 2. How important for this is for you, Tyler? You get to watch the team you're playing tomorrow. Like, what do you take away when you're watching this team?
Mainly the hitters, because you just see where the lineup drops off probably, or where after that.
The double steal, the hit and run, slicing the right center field. Kuiper,
field gap.
he ran those down yesterday, does not do so today. Rutledge will round third and easily score. Sliding into third is Roberson as the ball goes in the dugout. That'll
That's
be
3.
another run.
He's going to third too.
Yep. We
he's
saw
on-
that rule yesterday.
He's going to third? Oh, he's at second.
Oh, well, yeah, second, yeah.
Yep.
Liam Roberson will come home, an RBI and an error, and it's now 3-0 Indian Land.
Oh, he's at third. He's at third.
He's at third,
He's
yeah.
at third, yep.
Remember, we saw that rule yesterday when that went into the dugout. I think were you the beneficiary?
I was on first, yep.
Yeah, you were the beneficiary of that rule yesterday.
The difference is if it happens after the play, it's 2 bags. During the play, it's because if you touch the bag and then they throw it through the thing, I think it's 2 bags. It's a weird rule.
A very weird rule, absolutely. A lot of Lexington fans were not happy with
Yeah.
that rule yesterday.
I mean,
But of course, when it's a very weird rule, and it's one of those niche rules that you don't really see
you
a
don't
lot.
see it a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's just kind of one of those things where, unfortunately, it just happens. And now they trail 3-0 the Wildcats of Lexington. It's been all Indian Land, the heart of their lineup. Compton, Rutledge, Roberson, Rose, all have reached. They're not done yet. Matthew Better, the second baseman, up. They have 3 hits and 3 runs. Spivey coming in. Better swears to Button. He bunts it foul.
Nope.
We've seen a couple of these squeezes earlier, however.
Yep.
It's probably really hard. We saw it yesterday as well. Get past Christian Spivey over at third.
Yep, and obviously the Miller Indian Land game when they squeezed into the game and double play.
Double play. Jackson Carroll, who's the 9-hole hitter in this lineup. He's back in the dugout. He'll be hitting later, but he made an incredible play at the end. The 0-1. Curveball.
That's the first game they've lost in the Classic in 2 years.
The first game they've lost since 2023. That is absolutely. It is wild. The last game they lost before that was St. Joseph's. They were over. That was a team up in Maryland.
I remember that.
I think we played them on
We
Thursday.
played them in the consolation game, yeah.
Yeah,
We beat them 5-2, I think.
RBI single over the head of Hegler at first base. Bettler slices one down the right field line. The hard turn at first will stay. And Indian Land tagging Braden Studebaker. It's already 4-0.
Here comes Faulkner out the.
Yeah, I got to talk to him earlier. I got to catch up with him a little bit. He was helping out with the Blowfish when I was there for a summer.
Really?
And yeah, he's a really good dude.
Yeah.
You know, he's a pretty quieter guy.
Yeah.
I remember when I was always asked for an interview, I'll put some music on in the background. I was asked for an interview. He's like, head coach is over there. I'm like,
I worked with him in the fall a little bit pitching. I played for one of his teams this fall. He's a really great guy.
he's very, very knowledgeable.
Yeah, he is.
Very knowledgeable. And we were talking with Sam. You know, he loves baseball, which that's who you want to play for.
Yeah. And he's coached college baseball, high school baseball, so he has a lot of knowledge that he's gained over the past couple of years.
Yes, no, he's doing good. He's been at Lexington a couple of years now. Got to talk to him a little before the game. He seemed to be doing all right. And
you can tell that Studebaker, you know, he's throwing a bunch of good pitches and they're just blooper, they're all falling. As a pitcher, you know, you gotta just flush it.
How hard is that to flush it though? After you feel
hard.
like you're throwing good pitchers,
especially the first inning. That's the hardest part. Because you want to get settled in, and it's hard to get settled in whenever you get that three blooper pitches in a row and then 4 runs.
Yeah, when you faced South Point last week, you settled in quick and were able to really shut down them.
That first inning really projects you to where you want to be.
We'll see the right-handed Aram Hernandez, another young kid on this lineup. A lot of seniors were gone off this team last year. Hernandez, a freshman, hitting .333 this season.
Hey, impressive.
And he's been coming on late, 2 RBIs.
All foul balls to be returned to the field.
Of course, we talked about yesterday, 5 impactful seniors lost on this team last year. Blanchette, Doan, Gutman, Dombrowski, and Hunt all left. Of course, Lexington, familiar with that as well. Cromer, Cooper, Kistner, Watts, Hill, Blight, Soborowski, and Mobley.
Yeah, Lexington was stacked last year with seniors.
Stacked previous 2 years.
Yep.
That was one of those games, you know, you were thinking we were potentially going to face them in the championship last year before Miller was able to storm back in the 6th.
It was going to be Miller or Lexington last year. We knew that for a fact.
Yeah, we got to the championship and got Miller, and, you know, we'll get him again tonight. 1-0. Swung on and missed. Nice changeup.
That's nice.
That's
the goal, make the championship.
I mean, of course, you know.
Once you get there, it just all kind of just happens.
Play for a championship is the only goal you can have, and you got to take it game by game.
Yep.
The 1-1. Fastball wide, ball 2.
That was actually a changeup. That did not move at all.
Yeah, okay.
75.
You see, that's the problem, you know.
Yeah, you can't tell.
No, not at all. If it doesn't move, I'm like, I couldn't tell as a changeup. Obviously, you know the grip.
The only reason I knew was because the freaking said 75 over there.
My favorite call is a breaking ball doesn't break.
Yeah.
So that sometimes happens. You'll throw it out of the hand. It just doesn't, for whatever reason, you don't get enough on it. Don't get enough motion on your arm action. It just doesn't dip, doesn't slide, nothing. Those are the scariest pitches probably for y'all.
Yeah.
Oh. That pitch is high, chopper to the left side. Spivey had a play like that yesterday where I was able to field it in fair territory. Couldn't get to it in time there. I believe he robbed it potentially of a hit. It was I think Jack Chetwood swung one over to third, and Spivey was heads up play, fielded it, made a beautiful throw to first. That's not an easy throw to make either.
Yeah.
Of course.
Speaking of Jack Chetwood, that play
absolutely
at the tarp last night.
I mean, I've never seen anything like it. Jeff didn't get it on stream. It was blocked by our tent.
Yeah.
Well, you know, when it's stagnant, you know, we don't have to move it. But Jeff had to. We're in the middle of the game. He's like, I got to move that because he couldn't see what happened.
Change up outside.
Yeah, swung through and missed. Strikeout number 1 for Studebaker, and that's out number 2 here.
Good pitch.
Is Indian Land a young team?
Yeah, they are. 6 seniors that left? 5 or 6?
About 5 seniors that left. Yeah, they got a
right.
couple of seniors. Cooper Armstrong here as a senior. Emerson Rose as a senior. But a lot of young juniors. This will be a team to
The lefty's a junior.
Yes. So Eli Wilson, the 8th man of the inning, coming up for the Warriors of Indian Land. He was 0 for 1 yesterday, just 1 for 5 on the season. Another one of these juniors that, you know, is trying to break into this lineup. A pick off to first. Good move, just not in time. Yes, now Indian Land again made the Upper State Championship in 5A Division II. They were actually supposed to be in our region next year before they appealed.
They appealed it, yeah.
Yeah, travel reasons.
I wouldn't want to drive 2 hours to go play a region game either.
No,
I don't blame them.
No, I think the Achilles heel of that is I think their region is immensely harder than us.
Yeah,
Ours.
yeah.
You know, you get
So
South
now
Point,
they get stuck
Rock
in a
Hill.
region that's hard.
You get South Point, Rock Hill, York's up there.
South Point will not be easy to beat next year.
No.
The whole team is returning next year.
Absolutely.
So,
Yeah, I thought, you know, they started off, if you remember, Tyler, hot as all get out. They started off, I believe, like 11, 8-0, 9-0, somewhere out there. And then they lost their last 4 region games. We swept them as well as York swept them.
That #1 starter they got is pretty good.
Yeah, that was, he had a great game against us, limited us, and we didn't hit around Weatherby a little bit more than I think anyone really thought we could. Well, maybe except y'all. Yeah, I was, of course, unable to go to the game up in South Point, but that felt like we were just piling it on them.
Yeah, at South Point, I think we scored like 6 in like the 4th inning, 5th inning. That really broke it open.
Yeah, no, of course. Oh, it's a balk.
Balk, huh?
They call it balk. Do you think he made a move home, or do you think
I think he did. He's been trying to borderline every single time, so I think that's kind of what got it.
So I feel like balks are the hardest ones to explain, Tyler. So what makes a balk?
Trying to lefty, especially if he looks like he's going towards home, you can't differentiate it from going home or going to first. That's gonna make it a balk. And also, as a righty, you know, come set, move your shoulders, drop the ball, don't come set.
Hey, appreciate it. See, that's why we get the pros in there here. Told Sam, I said you're a great color because there's some things I don't even know. I still felt like I get confused on the balk rules sometimes where I don't see it. It's funny, like I'll be sitting here and someone's like, "That's a balk," and I'm like, "How do you see that?" I just don't. I guess I don't pay enough attention. Also wasn't a pitcher either. 3-1.
Good pitch.
Called strike 2. Fastball paints the inside part of the plate. Studebaker, 1 pitch from getting out of the inning.
35
3-2.
pitches first inning.
Yeah, that's never a good thing when your pitch count rises this high, especially in a tournament like this where pitching matters. Wilson trying to continue the inning. The 9-hole on deck. Jackson Carroll, again, he had the game-ending play yesterday. Indian Land has 4 runs here in the first inning against the Lexington Wildcats. Trying to see if they can add to it against Braden Studebaker. The payoff on the way. Fastball upstairs and a walk. It's the second walk of the inning.
No one in the bullpen for Lexington right now.
No, and that's the problem sometimes, you know. It's hard in these tournaments when you're... We saw yesterday with Airport and River Bluff, they were very hesitant to take their starters out because, you know, Corley and Butts, those are the guys that give them innings.
Corley's the guy that they need to go because
I've never seen Corley go that small.
He's one of the better arms in the state.
Absolutely, he is. I believe underrated.
Happens sometimes, though.
Of course, I mean it's baseball. A lot of these, I mean Jacob deGrom's bad atting here and there. It just kind of happens.
Yeah.
So Jackson Carroll, the last man in the order up here in the first inning. Cooper Armstrong, the leadoff man, he's waiting on deck. Lexington may let Indian Land bat around here in the first. That wind really whipping in. It looks like it's blowing out, though, right now.
Yeah, it is blowing hard out, as we saw with the Dorman walk-off.
I mean, that was, I think every single person that walked by me, even the booth thought it was a pop-up. Me and Sam thought it was a pop-up. He probably thought it was a pop-up, too. Hopefully I don't speak for Austin Rath.
Even the River Bluff coach thought it was a pop-up.
I mean, yeah, I mean, it looked, Sam was like, that looked like middle center field, and all of a sudden, that ball just... Powell, I think someone was like, if Ashley Powell got back to the wall, could he have caught him? Like, no, that was high off the wall.
That was like halfway up the wall.
I think your dad was like, how close is it? I'm like, it was halfway up the wall. Like, it just, he didn't have a chance. No.
Hopefully it keeps blowing like that.
We'll see what can happen. It's Achilles, you know, it's a double-edged sword for, of course, Miller can have some extra pop in their bat, too. The 2-0.
Charlie will be good.
Fastball upstairs, ball 3. And now 3-0 to the 9-hole. Again, Cooper Armstrong awaits on deck. The leadoff man grounded out the second baseman to begin the game. Since then, it's been a roller coaster here for Studebaker.
Yep.
He's labored through the first inning. The southpaw kicks and deals the pitch.
That's a strike.
It is a strike. Fastball paints the inside part of the plate against Carroll.
That's a good 3-0 pitch right there.
I talked to Luke Shalcom, like I showed him during the class, about how hard it is to throw a 3-0 pitch. How hard do you think it is to throw a 3-0 pitch?
It's hard. You're thinking.
Not you, Lucas.
It's just the hardest thing to do is not think.
Yeah, not think. I mean, of course.
Yeah.
That's a walk, yeah. Close pitch, but...
Bullpen. Lexington's got a guy warming up in the bullpen right now.
Yeah, that's... I always tell everyone on stream, I can see the visitors' bullpen. I can't see ours, so I know there's someone in there. I don't know who it is. Courtesy runner over at first.
42 pitches in 1 inning.
Yeah, 42 pitches in the first inning. It is not how you wanted to start this game off. Chase Dulesky, who got the start yesterday, will be courtesy running at first base. Back to the top of the order, it's Cooper Armstrong.
Step into the box.
This is the leadoff batter right here.
This is the leadoff man. Remember when we were in the press box, I do help CIU with some PA. And I was like, and I'll go back to the top of the order, and they sort of laugh at them. I'm like, well, and just because they batted around, it's always what I say when I go back to the second time around. Just happened they did it in one inning. Well, Armstrong led off the inning with a ground out to the second baseman. How does he start this one? Right-hander right to Christian Spivey, though, at third. He'll step on the bag and in the frame, but not before Indian Land does some damage. 4 runs off of 4 hits and 1 Lexington error. Indian Land in control. We'll be right back here on Definite Fiction. Welcome back to Falcon Field. Indian Land in control 4-0 before Lexington can even come to bat. Well, there's one person that potentially can get it back quickly. His name's Christian Spivey, and he leads off for the Wildcats. Tyler Hernandez along with Alex Ross. Thank you for being here with me. Fun day. First pitch inside to Spivey, and I think that hit him. Yeah. Leo Mattern.
That's not what you want after a 4 spot.
For a sports spot. I was about to ask you, my first question was going to be, after, as a pitcher, if you come out here in this situation, you're feeling good, but you've also been waiting now 20 minutes in the dugout.
You're also breathing. You're not nervous. I'll tell you that. You're breathing slow. You're not breathing heavy.
That's good.
Yeah, but you got to stay locked in because you think you can't think the game's over already after it's
Would you, if it was 20 minutes between, would you have kept throwing over the bullpen?
Probably toss a little bit. Yeah, I probably would. Just a little bit.
Just keep himself warm.
Just not get the arm. Yeah, keep the arm loose. Yeah.
Well, you were impressed about this freshman, Tyler, when I said he was starting. Leo Mattern, the freshman making his 4th start of the year, 2-1 on the season. Now his 6th appearance, 24 innings pitched, 1.75 ERA, and it looks like there's a little malfunction with his armband right now. Well, TC Robertson already punching their ticket to a championship game Thursday. This side of the bracket's a little weird, but Indian Land in control 4-0. If they can hang on and knock off the Wildcats, they put themselves in a position to play tomorrow. Oh, Thursday, whatever day it is. Fouled off by Graham Coleman, 0-1. Graham Coleman's another one of these talented up-and-coming underclassmen here. Well, I guess he's an upperclassman as a junior, but 256 this year. What were you thinking when you were facing Graham yesterday?
I know that he was good at hitting fastballs away, but I also know he struggles a little bit hitting fastballs inside and curveballs away. So we threw a bunch of 2-seams inside, and then first at bat I got him in a curveball. So I knew what he could do, what he couldn't. I know he's a really good hitter.
And a curveball he took away right there. It's now 0-2. Mattern hit the leadoff batter. Can he find his way around it? Spivey runs the pitch. Ball away, throwing a second. Not in time. That ball trickles into center.
Tell you what, Spivey, he doesn't look fast. Runs a 6.760.
That's what I was going to say. When you look at Spivey last year, I saw him for the first time. I was like, he's not the fastest guy out there. That's his 7th stolen bag this season.
He is fast. He don't look fast, but he's fast. That's crazy.
I think he's a little leaner than he was last year, too.
Yeah, I think he is.
If I remember correctly. He's been in the weight room, of course. The South Carolina commit probably comes with a lot of hard work.
Yeah.
The 1-2 is a fastball wide.
85 right there? 3. 83.
How what was your velo as a freshman, Tyler? Were you hitting
3.
83?
83, yeah. I hit it my 8th grade year, 83. I didn't really jump until my junior year anymore. I kind of stayed at 84, 85 until my junior year.
Well, I feel like it's all about the body type, however,
Yeah.
also.
Oh, chopper.
Yeah, that's going to be a foul. Rutledge will unsuccessfully stab at it. Doesn't really matter after, it's way foul.
Who would Miller be throwing tonight, you think?
They have two options, at least from what I've seen from there. Of course, Coach Wagner can really do whatever he wants, but it's either probably Jacob Rexroad or Chase Cathy tonight for the Miller School. The 2-2 swung through and missed.
That was nasty.
That was a good changeup indeed. Out number 1. That changeup has a lot of vertical drop on it.
Fielder Jackson Kuiper.
Jackson Kuiper up. This man was playing us dirtily from right center yesterday, robbing a ton of extra base hits for us.
We're hitting lasers out the right field and everything's getting caught.
That's what I said. I mean, I feel like I think Roper had one, you had one.
It was me, Roper,
Dylan,
Bonnie, and Dylan. Yeah, we hit.
All of y'all had stingers to the right center gap that were run down by Kuiper.
Yeah.
Ball 1 here. 1-0 the count, 1 away here. Bottom 1. Kuiper trying to help Lexington dig into this 4-0 deficit. Mattern fires. The pitch foul tipped into the glove. Nothing. 1-1, yeah.
Fastball.
Yeah, I'm curious if Miller saw that film and potentially will use it against us today. Hopefully not.
Yeah.
Hopefully y'all strike a ball
I mean, I think
that hard.
they've seen most of our players enough times to even know.
I mean, at this point, you've seen. I mean, you said this
sophomore
is.
year, last year, and it's been pretty much the same team for the past 3 years.
I was about to say for both of y'all, especially, I mean, they only lost about 4 or 3 seniors off that team last year.
They lose their best player though.
They lost Hankins, of course, and they lose Drew Lucy. They lose Matt Bobson.
Yep.
Those were a couple of key contributors for us. Of course, Sparky and Zach Sneed are both, and Luke Shalcom, absolutely. Luke Paul as well was in the starting lineup in that game as well. 2-1.
Good pitch.
Fastball wide, strike 2.
3.
So a couple key contributors, but for the most part, most of these lineups are the same.
Same, yeah.
Which is not something you see a lot in the high school level. Usually in a game like that, where a high leverage game or 2 good teams, usually you lose a lot more than that.
Yep.
Indian Lane's kind of one of those things you look at where they lost a lot of seniors off of last year's team, and here we are. Where's the Miller School nationally ranked? Depending on where you look, I don't know. I don't think y'all. I was talking to Sam. He's like, we look at the rankings. We don't really pay attention to them that much.
It's not anything like, because I mean, it's high school baseball. Most rankings aren't going to be perfectly accurate anyway.
That's a hot shot to the third baseman. Glove by Rutledge. The long throw into first is low and not in down. No, they're going to rule him out. Wow. A diving stop by Rutledge, and they say he guns down Kuiper. And to the dismay of the Lexington faithful.
I couldn't really tell from over here, but I don't know.
Coach Hawks is...
He's mad.
Stepping plate, left fielder, number 2, Cross, George.
Yeah, that is one where he's coming onto the field. He is yelling at the umpires.
Is that a fan?
Yes, correct. Well, it's the right-handed left fielder, Cross George, who I thought hit one out yesterday, but he just missed a homer. I called it a home run on the stream, but I guess
the one dead center?
No, the left field. Yeah, left field. It dipped into the shadows. I thought it went over. I thought when it went to the shadows, I thought it went over the vents. It actually just went into the corner. We were able to get that in quick, though. The 1-0.
Good pitch outside.
Yeah. So after what Lexington fans may call questionable second out of the inning.
Yeah.
There's a path for Mattern out of this frame, but it goes right through Cross George. The right-handed left fielder awaits 1-1. Tops over that one to the third baseman, Rutledge. Should be a harder play again. He stabs that, throws the first in.
Safe,
that one's safe this time.
Nah. Jeez.
Well, Lexington fans were letting everyone hear it last night as well.
He was safe. I mean, what do you want to do? Call him out?
That'll be an infield single for the Wildcats. Their first hit of the day. But runs to the corner for Jones Bell with 2 away. Bell hitting 2 for 8 with runners in scoring position. The junior went 0 for 2 yesterday against our Falcon pitching. Mattern to pick off to first. That's his first time we're really seeing him pick off anyone. Of course, a lot of passionate fan bases here. Let's make the Forest Acres Classic such a fun tournament.
Yep. lot of different
Different areas, of course. Swing and a miss, strike one. Left from Lexington, of course, from Lexington. Indian Land from the upstate. Dorman from Spartanburg. Indian Land from the Rock Hill area.
Where's TC Roberson at?
They are in Asheville, North Carolina. Yeah. Miller School up in Virginia. Is the 0-1.
Good pitch.
Call, strike two. And Airport from West Columbia. A bunch of Midlands and about half and half. A bunch of Midlands and a couple of teams from around the state and out of state. Coach Howe does a great job of bringing these teams in.
Yeah, he keeps it even.
He does such a great job. I mean, he outdid himself this year in the Classic.
This is the best one I've seen.
2-2. The runner's down. Caught between first and second. Throw into first is not in time. Snapback throw. George almost caught himself. We saw a play like that end an inning, a massive one for Airport. They got picked off second, tried to go home, and got thrown at the plate to end the sixth. That was their best scoring opportunity to tie the game. Spivey thought better of it that time. Didn't move a muscle off of third. Counts 1-2. The pitch is swung through and missed. Mattern gets his way out of the jam and keeps Lexington off the board. 4-0 lead for Indian Land. We go to the second. Welcome back to Falcon Field. Alex Ross here with you, joined by Tyler Hernandez, the starting pitcher of AC Flora last night. Hero in the top of the second. His brother is yelling saying he's not that good. Didn't get the win yesterday, Tyler, but he helped keep the game within striking distance. The bats were a little cold to start the game.
Win the game is all that matters.
That's absolutely. I love the mentality, and that's exactly what we did last night. Big walk-off win.
Yeah.
Roper Renski delivering in the clutch. Dylan, you're on a stream, but I appreciate the gestures. One-on-one. That one's high hit out to left field, but it will stay in the yard. Yeah.
Yep.
Off the end of the bat, it looked like for Johnny Compton. One away.
Look at Duke.
That's your favorite thing. You can always tell by the sound and the launch. It had the trajectory, but the sound sounded a little flat.
Here's a guy who did it.
Yeah, this kid did it yesterday. Johnny Compton. Or Joseph Rutledge, excuse me. Johnny Compton flew out Rutledge.
Studebaker is back out there for Lexington.
Again, you sometimes, even if you don't have your best stuff, you gotta throw your starters along in these games.
At least 2 or 3 innings.
Absolutely. First pitch from the southpaw is a grounded over to third base side. Spivey with a beautiful glove. Throwing to first is a strong in-time throw.
He played first last year, but he's obviously making a good transition to third.
Yeah, I think he's more of a naturally third baseman. Actually, I think they just had the.
Really?
It was more of they had the talent to put him around anywhere, and now that they lose all the seniors, you throw him in there. So I understand the movement. He is committed to play third base, at least to Southcon, and maybe a DH spot.
Yeah.
We'll see how his career pans out. Of course. He's putting on a show here in the field today in the Forest Acres Classic. Last year he had a great bat.
Yeah.
And he got robbed of a home run.
Obviously against us, our first game of the year last year, he hit a home run.
Jeez. I didn't see that one. And that's when Roberson in the back. He had an RBI single last time up. He'll reach via the hit by pitch, and now there's a 2-out base runner. So how does this work, Tyler? You know, you go and get the first 2 outs of the inning fairly quickly, and all of a sudden, there's a 2-out base runner aboard.
You know, after that long inning, you want to get back to the dugout. Because especially after throwing 42 pitches, you really want to have a quick second inning, maybe get a third or even a fourth inning after that. So, obviously, we only hit him on the first pitch. So.
Yeah, well, that is true. Save the pitches, I guess, if it makes sense. Emerson Rose is up for the second time today, who takes ball 1 in the dirt. Rose had one of those 4 hits last inning. He was the one who had the hit that ended up on third for him after the throw went to the dugout. The 1-out. That one softly grounded over to the shortstop, Coleman. He bobbled it, and he's going to have no play anywhere. Couldn't get it out of his glove.
I think they have, what, like 16 errors in the year? Or something, not 16
it's something like that. Yeah,
I
mean,
it was 14 pass balls, 30-something errors.
I mean,
something crazy.
Something like that, which, you know, you don't expect one from him. Graham Coleman's usually sure-handed. He had a couple nice plays against us last night.
Matthew Better.
Well, now it's Matthew Better. Indian Land, another life again. Hit by pitch and an error is how they reached. 2 on,
yeah, now
2 out.
From 2 outs, no one on, to 2 outs, 2 people on in the span of 2 pitches.
Of course, and, you know, not to like pepper you with this kind of question. Well, right on there, Rob, hitting to the right side, the right field. Gonna wave the run around Hurd is Roberson coming hard. That throw is cut off. I don't think Kuiper was coming up firing. And an RBI single for Matthew Better. It's 5-0 Indian Land.
Yeah, you see, that's just not what you want it to be, especially after the error. So as a pitcher, that just sucks.
I mean, I was about to ask, like, you know, theoretically, you know, you have an error that's gonna get you back in the dugout, and then all of a sudden
you kind of like go out of like pitcher mode and start walking back to the dugout, and all of a sudden, you know, you kind of go back up on the mound and throw another pitch after thinking the inning's over.
Right now, Indian Land all over Lexington, 5-0 here in the top of the second. This is kind of what T.C. Robertson did yesterday to Dorman. Pitch to Lexington, called strike 1.
I'll tell you what, he's making good pitches. Like, everything's on the outer half of the plate, or inner half of the plate, and they're just making better swings.
I mean, that's such a hard, you know, such a hard thing to get over as a pitcher.
Yeah, it really is. It happens sometimes.
Of course, it's baseball, and that's the beauty of it. Like, there's games like this where you feel like you're dead in the water, and all of a sudden you get brought back to life. Lexington get back to life here. Indian Land will go, runner from first.
He's not throwing.
Yeah, I would never throw that. I do not want to throw a ball in center field.
You don't want to get down 6-0.
Absolutely not. Well, it's the DH, Aaron Hernandez, who's up. Hernandez struck out swinging, the only strikeout victim Studebaker's been able to grab today. Sun is blazing now at Falcon Field after a very gloomy morning and a gloomy day yesterday. The 1-1. That ball is stroked into deep center field. Watts looking back at the track. A hit off the wall. That will unload the bases. Hernandez digging for second. The relay throw into second is not in time. A late tag and a 2 RBI double from Hernandez continues.
As a freshman?
His hot start as a freshman.
Nice.
And Indian Land tacks on 2 more. It's 7-0.
I'll have to play it again.
Aram Hernandez. Not related to Tyler or Dylan Hernandez, but it is Aram Hernandez. Somehow related.
Stepping in the box.
Falcons will face this Indian Land team tomorrow.
Looking good.
They're looking very good.
You know, they had a hot start to the season, and then they kind of cooled off again. But
yeah,
they're obviously feeling hot right now.
4-1 in their last 5 games and a big win over the Miller School, their marquee win of the season.
That's probably
Now the right-hander Wilson digs in. He'll pop that foul to the right side.
It sucks because they really should be out of this inning, Lexington. The Studebaker's.
I mean, as you said, hit by pitch, the error, now all of a sudden it's tacked, it's piled on.
Yeah, I mean, momentum snowballs that happen. This is a snowball thing.
How baseball goes.
Yep.
The Wildcats, who come in 6-9, just not having their best seasons, and right now they just cannot figure it out against the Warriors of Indian Land. 0-2 quickly. A lot of baseball left to play, but still, just so, you know, you find yourself in a 7-0 hole. It feels. Do you feel demoralized in a sense, or?
Yeah, it's the second inning. I mean, hard to say, but yeah, probably. You probably 7-0 in the second inning is not an easy thing to come back from.
You know,
especially against a good team like Indian Land.
I mean, yeah, I know. But however, I think Sam and I were talking. No lead, somewhat feels safe. Dorman had a comeback bid yesterday.
Yeah, almost came. Yeah.
Now India. No team really has the firepower Dorman has on the top of the lineup, especially.
That's very true.
You know, I think we have a good potential
I
to do.
think our top. I think our whole lineup is really hitting the ball.
This has been the most, I think, top to bottom lineup I think I've seen for us. That, you know, we have from top to bottom.
Since I've been here, 100%.
Correct.
100%. Since I've been here.
I mean, of course, since I've been here. I mean, that 2022 one team was apparently
obviously, yeah.
obviously
That's
really
the
good.
best team in Florida history, bro.
So, of course, she'd had a back-to-back, but 2020 does not count. 2-2 on the way. Fastball. Ooh. Misses inside.
A little inside.
Ball 3. You know, of course, 2020, I know firsthand. My senior year of high school got cut short.
Yeah, Baker and Harmon Cox, obviously, a senior twins. The one's at Wilmington right now. And if they would have been pitching for 2020, I don't think they probably wouldn't have lost more than 2 games the whole season.
Jeez. Payoff pitch. Misses wide. Another 2-out base runner.
Someone's in the bullpen's hot for Lexington.
Yeah, it's been hot for a while.
I don't see.
I'm a little surprised, you know, they've kept him going this long,
Yeah.
especially after how this snowballed. In fact, you know, Studebaker should have been out of this inning about 3-4 batters ago, and
yeah,
he's still out there on the hill.
Step to the plate. The catcher, number 10.
Now it's the 9-hole again, Jackson Carroll.
already threw the lineup twice in
Yes.
2 innings.
This is not fun as a pitcher.
No.
I've talked to both
Yeah.
Sam and your brother how hard it is to, you know, face a lineup twice, now 3 times, especially in the first 2 innings.
Yeah.
So quickly, you remember so much. First pitch is sky high, pop up into right field. It's going to Kuiper. That wind's really blowing in the air, but he'll take a couple of steps back and make the grab. Indialand tacks on 3 more. A 7-0 lead for the Warriors when we come back.
First baseman, Alan.
Welcome back to Falcon Field. Alex Ross, joined by Tyler Hernandez. And of course, it's been a rotation of Falcons with me these last couple of days. Dylan yesterday, Sam earlier, and now Tyler here for Game 3. I believe Jeff Rose will get on the call for Game 4 as we're ready to rock and roll our Falcons against the Middle School of Albemarle. A changeup, chopped foul to left side.
At least I think so.
For strike 1. Well, Leo Mattern has been kind of sparingly on the hill today after back-to-back long at-bats now. For the Indian Warriors, they lead 7-0.
Good
Pitch,
pitch.
fastball called, strike 1. Or
Tell
strike
you what,
2, I
he's
guess.
pounding the outside part of the zone right now.
Well, I was talking to Sam. He says when he's going, he loves living on the outside part of the zone. Right now, it looks like that's where Mattern's living as well. The 0-2. Fastball low. Good miss for ball 1. Winding and dealing the 1-2. Fastball upstairs, ball 2. We're trying to get the Wildcats going, trailing by 7. 2's all. Pitch is low, ball 3.
That's 3-2.
3-2 the count. Nobody gone here in the bottom of the second. Lexington needs to start somewhere to try to cut this lead. The payoff. That
That's
ball is
gone.
hammered to deep left
gone.
field. Wilson looking up, and he will watch it fly. Alan Hegler gets the Wildcats on the board. They cut the lead down at 7-1. I love how you and Sam. I love how you and Sam both just knew like it's gone. I know it's gone.
Off the bat.
Ladies
Especially with this win.
That's a home run.
That makes sense.
The first baseman, number 4, Alan Hegler.
Hegler's second homer of the season.
Yeah.
He now has his 12th RBI, and Lexington finds the score sheet.
He hit the ball really hard off me last night, I'll tell you that.
Charlie was laughing, but Sam kept mentioning, he's like, we were talking about Landon Jeff, he was like, yeah, he hit a home run off me. And Charlie was like, just laughing. I'm like, well, he keeps mentioning it. I'm like, y'all remember that stuff, do you?
Yeah.
Well, now Ethan Madden, the catcher, came into the game, got hit by a pitch yesterday, and y'all ground out to Matthew Better, the second baseman, off of one swing.
That's a good comeback after that home run.
Yeah, it's not easy.
One pitch, went out.
We were talking, you know, I think they were talking about Lucas. Was like, I almost got my first bomb hit off me. And Sam's like, yeah, join the club.
Yeah, it's the same. I mean, I think my sophomore year, that was my first. I've only had one home run off me my high school. My sophomore year against Caden Reeves from Chapin.
So you remember exactly who it was,
Hit
too.
the ball about 500 feet dead center off of me. And it was,
you remember that now 3 years later.
oh,
almost.
100%.
That ball is sliced into right center field. Cooper Armstrong coming on and makes the one-handed grab.
2 pitches, 2 outs now.
I mean, that's like good sort of pitches, right?
That's a great comeback.
I mean, I think Sam was mentioning it. Is hard contact an out? Is that, you know, does that deter you at all as a pitcher, or are you still?
If it's a bad pitch, maybe. But if it's a good pitch, no. I mean, it was a good swing. But if you're throwing a ball down the middle and make hard contact, so now it's like, okay, now I gotta reset and make a better pitch next time.
Look at the 9-hole Hamp Watts up. He was the person who almost had the. If he would have, that was balls a little closer, he may have got thrown at the plate yesterday.
Yeah,
his ball was off the line.
thought it was close. It was a lot closer than I thought it would be.
Yeah, he came up. I didn't know if he had a cannon.
Yeah.
And he almost.
I think that's why Coach Hallett sent him. He didn't think, but obviously he has a pretty good arm.
It just was the kind of feet up the line, trying to bunt on for a hit, and he almost gets hit. Yeah, but another one of these young freshmen in this tournament.
Yep.
Watts hitting 258. Went home for 3 last night though against our Falcons. Did you strike him out or?
He grounded out to me.
Aha. 2-0. So are you like one of those people that like you can remember every single thing that like pitched that?
Yeah, I think I can. Yeah.
I mean, you're not as, what is it? Is it Sean McVay? He can remember like every single play. You can remember pretty much everything that ever happened last night.
I definitely like, especially when I'm pitching. Like I really remember everything.
3-0. Fastball up on the letter. It's a 4-pitch walk.
No, Spivey's up.
That's not the ideal person to walk here, right? I didn't think about that until now. But
Number 5,
of course, big old Christian Spivey. Spivey was hit straight in the back his first go around.
Probably not the worst thing. Don't let him get a hit.
Yeah, no, I mean, don't do anything. I was talking to Sam earlier, and I looked at Sam, I'm like, do you walk Palmer Hornick in this situation? He's like, well, let's see how the first 2 pitches go. And
One pitch wouldn't.
Yeah, 1 pitch. And I looked he's like, maybe you're right. I looked at Palmer. He was getting food. And I said, I can't believe they didn't walk. He's like, I'm happy they didn't.
Yeah, I mean, I would never pitch.
Yeah, no, check swing. Compton, the shortstop, on the run. The throw on the hop is in time. And Spivey didn't want to swing the bat there. Wanted to keep it back. He grounds out to end the inning. Lexington gets a solo blast from Alan Hegler. And they trail 7-1.
Lexington.
welcome back to Falcon Field. Falcons in the nightcap. Indian Land Lexington here in Game 3 of the Forest Acres Classic on day 2.
A little cutter.
Victor Kaczynski takes the hill.
Cutter action right here.
The left-hander, as a freshman, will take the hill in replacement of Braden Studebaker. Studebaker, as you kept saying, Tyler, had a couple of good pitches, just could not, for whatever reason, figure out how to work around it. And yeah, I'm not sure what's going on. Maybe they're going to say he wasn't far enough? What's going on here? Do you know?
I have no idea what's going on.
The only thing I can think of is he wasn't like touching the rubber or something.
Maybe, yeah, or, you know, you can't have your foot sideways on the rubber either. Like your foot that touches the rubber. Oh, you see how it's a little sideways?
Yeah.
Because you can't have it fully sideways. Maybe you had it fully sideways.
Interesting.
Yeah.
What's the reason for that?
I have no, because I did it my sophomore year and they told me I couldn't do it anymore. It kind of sucked, but.
Interesting.
I have no idea.
Well, Kaczynski now making his 4th appearance of the season. The 1-0 swung through and missed by the top of the order. It's Cooper Armstrong now for the 3rd time now in the 3rd inning. Count is 1-1 with nobody gone. Kaczynski will wind and deal. Foley out of the windup.
Change up.
I like how you just know it right as it leaves the
about the
hand.
arm. You really just talk about the arm action. Like, see his wrist, how it pronates.
You know, I actually do like, I think it's fun watching wiffle ball.
Yeah.
Are you a good wiffle ball pitcher, Tyler?
No. Roper is. I think we were playing wiffle ball yesterday actually at Charlie's house, and Roper threw me this sinker thing that started at behind me and somehow ended up in the zone, and I was like, what the heck's going on?
I mean, I remember the one time I played wiffle ball back in high school, I got one of our pitchers threw me like a slider that probably started at my face and left me to the box. And I'm like, this isn't fair.
And we'd use a skinny bat. So
exactly.
like, you're really not going to hit the ball.
There's a curveball strikeout swing. Kaczynski. Is that a bad omen? The throw down going over the first baseman's head?
Annoying.
Maybe not such a bad omen, it's more annoying, but either way, out number 1.
Especially after a good little at-bat from the pitcher right there.
Number 13, shortstop.
Kaczynski, he was at the plate yesterday against us, went 0 for 3. Tyler, you were one of those punch-outs that you got him. He was the 8th man in the lineup, I believe.
Yeah.
So now it's Johnny Compton up for the 3rd time today. Takes ball 1, low and away. He's singled and flown out in his 2 plate appearances thus far. Indian Land, 1 game 1 between these 2 teams, 7-5. It's 7-1 here through two innings, and that changeup swung through and missed. As you heard Tyler Hernandez say, that was nasty.
That started at his neck off the plate and ended up 2 feet off the plate.
One's on the way. He's popped into the air on the right side. It'll come in shallow right field. Kuiper making a run toward the line, and he'll have room for out number 2.
Yeah. A lot of good changeups today from both teams.
And you've been especially impressed by a lot of the changeup, the movement. You have a good changeup yourself?
No.
Really?
I don't throw it.
Step to the plate.
I don't know why. I don't know why I can't.
Third baseman,
I just
number
don't.
1, Joseph.
Like you don't throw, like you don't like.
I don't. I mean, I've never really had a good changeup.
Interesting.
I mean, I have one. I just don't
It's there.
It's there. If I need to throw it, I guess I can. Terrible.
Coach Howell can take notes. Ball 1. Well, it was funny last year, Tyler. It was one of those things where I was like, I didn't see you pitch, and all of a sudden, Forest Acres, you're like, oh yeah, Tyler can pitch.
Yeah, because I got hurt my fall.
Okay.
Or my summer, I sprained my UCL last summer, and then I came back.
I think I did hear about that.
And then,
yes.
Obviously, I had a pretty good year in the mound last year.
Yes, you had a perfect game last year.
I did.
You know, I remember I was. You know, it's the other thing you don't talk about on there. You don't talk about injuries. I don't care if it's yours or not, or you know them or you don't. You don't talk about injuries at all. And I hear stuff, and I'm like, oh, that sucks. Like, I remember, I think Zach, what did he, 2 years ago in the summer, he, like, broke his back or something?
Who did?
Sneed?
Towards ACL.
Yeah, ACL, that was what it was.
Monty broke his back.
Oh, that's what it was. Great. You guys just love getting hurt in the offseason.
Yeah, it seems like everyone gets hurt not playing baseball.
Those are the fun ones, right?
Yeah.
The 3-1 from Kaczynski. The breaking ball doesn't break.
A little changeup and did not.
Yeah, 5-pitch walk.
I don't think I want to pitch to him.
I mean, I don't blame him.
Yeah.
He's had a couple of good days so
then you
far.
get a lefty-lefty matchup right here. So.
How important, you know, you're a right-handed pitcher, but as a left-hander, how hard is that lefty-lefty matchup for you?
Lefty-lefty?
Yeah.
It's really hard. It's really hard. Because you just don't see it a lot. That's the problem. Like, if you saw it like every game, it'd be different. But when you see it once every 3 or 4 games, it's like, you really just can't get in the rhythm with it. You can't get used to it.
Of course, a bunch of good lefties. One of the dish.
Yeah.
Liam Roberson was brilliant yesterday in the win, powering the Warriors of Indian Land to a 1-0 record here. His stat line, 5 innings pitched, 0 earned runs, 4 strikeouts. And apparently that wasn't his best stuff.
Yeah. I don't.
Well, with a 1.04 ERA, you can pretty much say whatever you
Whatever
want.
his best stuff is, that's probably crazy.
Well, unfortunately for us, we probably will not see Liam Roberson
Yeah.
again. Maybe next year in the Classic. Good
good
pickoff move, not in time. There's Jeff Rose making an appearance. It's your third unpaid intern now.
Good.
1-0 the count here against Roberson. He's already hit in the clutch today. He has an RBI single. That was back in the first, and he's been hit by a pitch, so he reached base twice. The Miller School has made their appearance here. Looks like they're rolling in for their nightcap. 7 o'clock first pitch time. 1-0. Breaking
Good
ball. That one's
swing.
lined to the second baseman. Caught on a line by Jones Bell to retire the side.
Nothing you can do about that.
Yeah, frozen rope right to the second baseman in the frame. Can Lexington get back in the scoreboard and cut in his lead? We'll find out when we come back. Welcome back to Falcon Field. Lexington Indianland in action. Indianland after picking up a Game 1 win against the Millers all over Lexington, 7-1. But the Wildcats will bring up the heart of their order, 2-3-4 here in the third. Of course, Tyler's still with me. He's got a game to get ready for in a second, but he's hanging out while he can, watching some good baseball.
Hit it back.
Yeah, that's not the way you want to start for Mattern.
Nope.
First pitch hit by pitch to Graham Coleman. And of course, heart of the order now up. Such a hard way to, navigate through that in a sense. You hit the first batter.
Stepping to the plate, right fielder number 10, Jackson Kuiper.
Do you think that messes with you at all if you hit the first batter?
Right. Yeah. Not the ideal start.
No, much less than that. Well, every game has been pretty close today, all coming down to the last inning. The only game that really didn't come down to the last inning was T.C. Robertson and Dorman, but that still was a great game all the way through. First pitch fastball called, strike one. This looks like to be the first lopsided game, but of course, a lot of time left for Lexington.
Can you give me one, Jack? Yeah. Sweet.
The 0-1.
That's a good pitch.
What was that one? A fastball or is that like a cutter?
I have no idea what that was.
Nothing in two quickly here against Kuiper. Right fielder, a ground out to Rutledge, and after that one was deemed a close play at first. Nothing in two. Breaking ball. That one's lifted into left field, but right at Eli Wilson. He'll actually make a couple steps in and slide to make the grab.
Wind is not blowing anymore on the flag.
No, it might be blowing in rather now. That ball looks like Wilson stood flat-footed for a second before running in and making the grab.
Number 2 left fielder, Cross George.
Now let's cross George up. 1 on, 1 out. George singled back in the first. That was the other close play that was ruled in Lexington's favor.
Yep.
Right on right, Mattern. And it was third inning of work. So far, so good for him. First pitch is a high chopper to the third baseman. Rutledge has it, throwing a second for one. On to first is going to be spiked over. Yeah, it probably stuck to the hand a better.
Yeah.
So fielder's choice. Will
One
put-
out. At least you got one out.
Up for
Yep.
the Wildcats. Number
That's you know, I feel like
20,
that's like, you know,
Jones
best case scenario in that sense when you spike the
Yeah.
ball to first.
Get the lead runner.
Now it's Jones Bell, the DH today. Mattern trying to go through the heart of this Lexington order here in the third. The second time Lexington's seen Mattern, and the young freshman does not look phased. Another good crowd here again, yet again. Beautiful atmosphere in the Forest Acres Classic.
Hit him again.
Another hit by pitch. That was on the breaking ball.
Yeah.
So now George goes to second, Bell goes to first, and here comes Alan Hegler.
Number 4, first baseman, Allen.
Swing last
Hegler.
inning.
Yeah, he had the big swing last inning, a solo shot over the left field wall.
Ooh.
There's your food.
Yes. Sweet.
And
You know,
time will
you know
become-
when we hit?
Very soon.
Like 5:30.
Yeah.
All right, that's fine.
Time is called. We are back here on Definite Fiction. Welcome back to Falcon Field after the mound visit. Mattern, a quick talk to by his head coach. We'll now go to Alan Hegler, the man who has the best hit today against Mattern. A solo shot over the left field fence. Right-hander waits the first pitch. Is topped over, foul, 0-1. Well, Tyler, after you go up a bomb to someone, what's the approach now, the next at bat against them?
Don't throw the same pitch. That's the main thing, you know. You know, I mean, sometimes you just have that pitch to make a good swing.
The 0-1.
It's a good
Breaking
pitch.
ball upstairs, just misses outside. 1-1 the count now, 2 away. Bottom 3. Mattern, their number 2 starter, trying to get through this Lexington order. The 1-1. Called strike 2 in the top half of the zone. Well, in game 1 between these two teams, Liam Roberson went. He played very well, of course, against these two. Now, there's another one. They have to figure out how to get through Mattern. The 1-2. Breaking ball is fought off and fouled. How long do you have to take to make that defensive swing, Tyler? Is that just, you know, on kind of instinct?
Kind
Or
of yeah, I think it's more a reaction thing. Yeah.
you see it might be strike 3 and just a bat
Yeah,
ball?
just put the bat in the ball any way possible.
The 1-2. That pitch is topped over to the right side. First baseman Roberson has it,
play.
flips to Mattern, who covers, and the 3-1 put out retires the side. Mattern works around 2 hit batters. And Lexington leaves 2 on the base pass. 7-1 going to 4. Or bottom, yeah, 4.
Number 37.
We are back live in Forest Acres, South Carolina. Another beautiful day for baseball. Low 70s, a little breezy. Here in day 2 of the Forest Acres Classic, 7-1. As Victor Kaczynski stays in the game, and a sharply hit ball to Christian Spivey, who gloves it, throws it across the diamond. Emerson Rose is down off one pitch as Kaczynski tips his cap to his third baseman. It's gonna go somewhere.
Second baseman, number 4, Matthew Better.
Well, one pitch, one out here in the top of the 4th. Now it's Matthew Better up. He's an RBI hit already today, as well as another single. Right-hander takes strike 1, looking on the outside edge. Kaczynski, so far, has been so good here for Lexington, helping out in relief for the Braden Stubaker, was able to go 2 innings. So far, 4 of the first five batters have been retired from Kaczynski. The 1-1. Pitches high fly into center field. Watts,
get it.
tailing back toward the track, makes
Got
the
it.
jumping grab at the wall.
Surprised that wasn't off the wall. With how this wind's been playing today.
Yeah, I feel like this wind is just going up and down.
Yeah.
You know, in the first game it was carrying, in the second game it really wasn't.
Number 99.
Now it's kind of hit or miss right now.
Hernandez.
So Hernandez, who had a 2 RBI double last go around, will step into the box. And Kaczynski facing this lineup pretty well so far comparatively. Hasn't allowed to hit yet. First pitch to Hernandez upstairs. You know, I was talking to your brother, and he's like, you know, I have a Spanish walk-up song. He doesn't speak a lick of Spanish. Do you?
Nope. Not one bit.
You have a Spanish walk-up song though.
My dad taught me. My dad never taught me, so.
That's what he said. He said, blame my dad.
Yeah, that's all we can do.
Almost golf down that right field line. A long run for
Good
Kuiper, and he
oh.
just can't run it down off the tip of his glove. Be a long fly ball for strike 1. No, he said he looked at the lyrics before he picked his walk-up song. Did you?
Oh, yeah. There's nothing. They're definitely not bad.
Yeah, he's like, I want to know what they're saying, but I just don't know what it's saying. I was like, okay. Also, I think my favorite Spanish song when I was back in high school was Vivir Mi Vida. Do you know that one at all?
Who's that by?
I don't remember. It's on my playlist. Like, I have a massive playlist I've just been keeping up with since high school. Yeah, I was doing a Spanish class. The 1-1. That one's hardly grounded over to the shortstop. Coleman gloves this one. Throw on to first in the 1-2-3 inning for Victor Kaczynski. The 4th inning goes up and goes down. We'll be right back here in the bottom of the 4th when we come back.
The catcher, Ethan Madden.
Welcome back to Falcon Field. 7-1 lead for Indian Land. As the first pitch now is a fair ball down to the third baseman, Rutledge. A throw off line, and I don't know why Madden stopped running through the bases, but it works, and Ethan Madden, a leadoff single. That was a tough play from Joseph Rutledge. I don't know how he got his glove on that one. There's been some excellent third base play today.
Have been showing up today on the
Designated hitter, number 15, Lawson Yeomans. Courtesy runner on first base,
Lawson
number 21,
Yeomans.
Caden Blight.
Caden Blight will courtesy run for the catcher, Ethan Madden. You know, I know you pitch and used to catch a lot, Tyler.
Yeah.
Do you like being courtesy ran for, or are you just like, let me run?
Yes. Yes, I love being courtesy ran for, especially pitching. I had to run last night, which is not fun.
Yeah, I was surprised we kept you in there as long as we did. Were you like, please get me out of here? Or
Yeah,
just,
I was not happy.
do you not like running, or just like you just think you're
need rest?
That's fair. Yeah, you get more tired, I'm assuming, on the mound than anything else. 0-1.
Good
That
swing.
ball is stroked into left center field. Coming on is Eli Wilson, but it will drop for a base knock. Lawson Humans gets the team going. Back-to-back leadoff hits.
You could expect a butt here.
You think
Number
Camp Watts?
28,
He
center
walked his
fielder,
first go around.
Yeah.
Watts.
Well, after Watts, Spivey's up after him, and it's the third time through the order. We've already talked about multiple times how hard that is for a pitcher, and of course, I think we've seen a couple times, you know, against Lugoff, second time through the order, you were Tyler. Charlie started that with a homer.
Yep.
You know, I think I was telling Sam, I was like, how, you know, those really, really good hitters,
Yeah.
how much of an advantage, especially for them, to see us pitcher twice.
Because you know when they're gonna throw you. Like you can expect what you're gonna get after that first at bat. Especially like if you get out on a certain pitch, they're probably gonna throw that pitch you got out on again.
As a ball straight to the backstop puts both runners in scoring position. Maybe the suicide squeeze here, but either way, it puts runners at second and third. You know, I think same thing with Palmer Hornick. Second time Palmer saw a pitch from Peyton Hewitt, he didn't miss it.
No, he did not. He does not miss many pitches. I'll tell you
No,
that.
he does not. 1-0. That ball is softly grounded over to the first baseman, Liam Roberson, who looks back the runner at third, and now there's a runner between second and third. The runner from third didn't break for the plate, and now they're saying do not move from third for Madden. It's going to be a double play. Well, Humans was trying to go to third. Third base coach said, Caden Blight, you must stay here.
Yep.
A double play, fielder's choice in Lexington. Another mistake. Now there's two away.
Stepping to the plate, third baseman, number 5, Christian Spivey.
Don't see that too often.
No, not at all. A 3 unassisted, 6 double
Yeah.
play. He's more see it on the, that's been on the scorecard actually a couple times today, but not in the sense of what we just saw there. Now it's Spivey up for the third time today. Takes a fastball wide, ball 1.
Does not have a hit in this tournament yet. Well, I guess you count the double off.
Yeah, the double was unfortunately counted off you,
Yeah,
Tyler.
it sucks.
You can yell at your teammate for that
Roper.
one. I was gonna say it, but you're more than welcome to. 1-0. So I feel like you have the right to say the name. I usually try to stay away from those kind of things.
You can tell that everyone's throwing him off the plate.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, everyone's throwing Spivey balls.
Oh, I thought you meant Roper. I thought you meant throwing I thought you meant y'all throwing him around and tucking him. No. Oh, I mean, you can't really after what he did after the end of the game. Yes, no. But strike 1 to Spivey.
Yeah, who
I
cares?
mean, what does he have? 10 walks now?
He walks a lot.
Yeah, he's hitting 393 over 28 at bats.
Yeah.
He has a 553 on base percentage. Walks. Couple hit by pitches. No one to throw into Christian Spivey. Can't blame him. And that's maybe why that ball is stroked out to left field, but it will stay in the yard. The wind's going to carry that into the glove of Eli Wilson in left field to end the inning. Spivey puts a little charge in that one, but not enough legs to get out. 7-1 still is your score going to the 5th. We're back here on Definite Fiction. First pitch
But
to Eli Wilson's bunt
a
on the
really
third
good
base
bunt.
line. Gonna be a tough play. Spivey the bare hand.
Oh.
The throw into first is just offline. Hegler was able to almost put the tag down, but enough speed from Wilson. Got some button for a single.
It's a good, also it's a really good play.
I know Spivey almost made a beautiful barehanded throw. That would have been the play of the tournament potentially over at
But
third.
yeah, probably.
We've seen him. We already talked about. We've seen a lot of great plays at third base.
Third
That may
base.
have been it.
Yeah.
Now it's Jackson Carroll up for the third time today. This third time through the order has been a little slower than the first two. He shows bunt and he bunts it to the right side. It will go foul.
Not an easy pitch to bunt.
You know, we've had a couple fun plays like that, and you know, you probably had the most fun play ever when you were on the mound. That triple play last year.
Oh, yeah. That was one of the craziest plays I've ever seen, probably.
I've never seen a play like it. It was, just
Yeah.
it was a bunt that looked just like that, popped towards, but it was the left side. Monty to Roper, and who was at first? Was it Zach?
Yeah, yes, I think so. Because Monty was at third. I know that.
Monty caught it, and I know he threw it
Yep.
to Roper. That
Oh.
ball's in the air, and Hegler can't get there. 0-2.
You can tell they're expecting him to bunt because they're throwing it high every single time.
What was your reaction to the triple play? I think I was so focused on the fielding, I wasn't paying attention to you at all.
I was in shock. I genuinely did not know what just happened.
I don't think me either. Coach Dorsey was on there too with me, and he's just like, he's like, that's the first triple play I've ever seen at this field. I'm like, that's the first triple play I've ever seen ever. I'm like, I don't see triple plays unless they're like
That was
replays.
my first one I've ever seen ever too. That's crazy.
The 0-2. Yeah, of course. I would say the probably potentially rarest play in baseball.
Yeah,
Probably, yeah.
Probably. Yeah, I'd say so because I mean, they happen like maybe once a year in MLB.
Yeah, no, I remember one of the coolest things I was watching. We were actually, weirdly enough, watching the Angels-Mariners game when Joe Adell robbed that third homer.
Yeah, the third over the fence. That was crazy.
Yeah, we were watching the Final Four game. It was such a blowout. I was doing work for this tournament. I was just sitting there
Yeah.
looking at my screen for this tournament, and we just had it on the screen, and I was like, holy crap! That was wild. I thought it was the second robbery. It was the third. 2-2. Hard hit ball to Spivey. He can't glove that one this time. Goes under it. Doesn't take the hop he thought it was going to take. They're going to call it an error on Spivey. That's such a tough play to make.
Yeah, because he hit it kind of weird, so it was spinning a little bit.
Yeah, well, Spivey's had a great glove over that third today. Gets
You
charged
don't
with his
expect
first
that,
error.
too.
Yeah, no, that's. We had one. I think it was Charlie who tied him up over there
Yesterday. Number 15,
Ball that
Cooper
bounced over his head,
Armstrong.
almost. Hit his glove and rolled up his arm.
Yeah, it was weird, yeah.
Yep.
Tried to knock it down, and that ball just ate him up. Well, the bottom of the order produced. Runner on first, runner on second now for the top of the order. Cooper Armstrong up for the fourth time today. He'll get his second go-around against Victor Kaczynski now. First pitch, bunt squared, and is
That's a
put
good
down
bunt
right
right
back to
there.
the pitcher. No one's covering first. Well, yes, they do. Nice job.
Oh.
A high throw, but Jones Bell does field it. The second baseman comes to cover. You know, I see that first baseman pitcher crash. I'm like, oh no, who's covering?
Second
Well,
plate,
Because you know, for
Shortstop,
we don't. The
number
second baseman
13,
never covers first for
Johnny
us.
Compton.
It's always either first baseman or me.
Number 13.
or you.
Faulkner's coming out.
Yeah, this is a dangerous spot for your young
Yep.
freshman. 2 on, 1 out. We'll be right back here as Coach Faulkner's going to come out and talk to his left-hander. We are back here at Falcon Field. Infield in for Lexington. Or in for Lexington is Gotti Compton for Indian Land up. First pitch to him is popped to the right side foul. They're also shading him to the left. Well, how hard is this for an infield? You know, when you put the shift on and your infield's in.
Yeah, you definitely don't. There's not a lot of room to move. Once it's one step, and if you can't get the ball, it's scoring 2 runs. So you really got to bear down here as a pitcher.
Not easy at all, especially for the heart of the order, Compton.
Yep.
1 for 3 today. The 0-1.
That's a good
Fastball,
pitch.
beautiful pitch. Paints the outside part of the zone. 0-2.
He's a freshman, I don't know.
Freshman Lamel and
Lefty
Victor
throwing
Kaczynski,
80,
yeah.
freshman?
He's doing well.
It's impressive. You don't see that much.
Not at all. You don't see a lot of freshmen throw, especially.
Yeah.
But at this tournament, you see it all.
Especially with the tournament, you know you got to throw everyone.
On the 0-2, that one's hit
leaked.
high and deep out to right center field. Hamp Watts looking up. That ball is off the wall, way high, having to hold everywhere. So it will be a delayed 2 runs, but the throw into third is in time. A 2 RBI double for Johnny Compton, but he's gunned down, trying to stretch it for 3.
Yep.
I don't think he cares, though. It's a 9-1 lead.
I wouldn't care.
9-1 lead to clear the bases. Now there's 2 away.
Yeah.
Yeah, that.
One out, you want to be aggressive, too. So.
Oh, yeah.
Number 1,
runner on third, 1 out.
Joseph Rutledge.
That's another run.
Well, for those, I always say it when it gets close like this, the run rule is 10 through 5. Lexington trailing by 9. Indian has, technically the next batter would be the winning run if they get there. And Rutledge smokes one to deep center field, but Watts has a read, and he'll make the one-handed grab to retire the side. That'll win the frame.
I'm going.
Yeah, thank you for joining me, Tyler. Much appreciated. Good luck tonight, and we'll see our Falcons later this evening. We'll be right back here at AC Flora, Lexington, Indian when we come back. Welcome back to Falcon Field. Just me now. Tyler has to go warm up with the team as AC Flora Miller, the nightcap. First pitch slated for 7 o'clock here live on Definite Fiction. We'll have Coach Dorcian as a special guest as well, as I'm in my light blue 215 shirt here today. It is 9-1 Indian Land. They are all over Lexington as the first pitch popped foul. Christian Spivey into the 4th, a fly out to left field. It's Coleman, Kuiper, and George due up here in the 3rd. As Indian Land, after only accumulating 1 run yesterday, is all over the Wildcats. They have 9 through their first 5 innings of work. It's been an onslaught here in Lexington in a situation they have not been in forever. This team has been dominant in the state. They are in danger of dropping to 6-10. The 1-1 off the hands and popped foul. I was talking to Coach Bagwell. He's like, talking about how talented Miller is. Like, oh, we got like 1 or 2, and I'm like, hey man, you're here for a reason. Y'all are just as talented, if not more, than you think. And this team's starting to play like it now. They started off a little sluggish. They're back in action though. And 2 is grounded. Backhand from Rutledge at 3rd. The long throw is dug out and in time. Some great third base play. Joseph Rutledge robbing Graham Coleman of potentially extra bases for the first out of the inning.
Right fielder number 10, Jackson Kuiper.
And now Indian Land won 5 of their last 6, looking for 6 of their last 7. They'll get the nightcap tomorrow with AC Flora. That potentially could mean a lot depending on how these results go today. Indian Land slated for at least top 2 finish in this tournament. First pitch on the way. Off speed stays wide, ball 1. So we can talk about it a little bit. Indian Land, assuming they can hold on and win today, they'll be 2-0 in the tournament. As the 1-0. That one's grounded right back where it came from. That'll be a single against Mattern. Kuiper has his first hit of the day, and Lexington gets their 5th. So depending on what happens today is what happens to Indian Land. They're in the driver's seat. With the win tomorrow, they're on Thursday, no questions asked. But besides that,
next for the Wildcats, left fielder number 2.
Depends on what happens. If they lose tomorrow, then what happens afterwards. If they lose tomorrow, then if Flora wins the nightcap, they'll just go into the 2nd place game If Miller wins the nightcap and they lose tomorrow, I believe it's a three-way tie, and that's going to be interesting. First pitch, fastball wide, ball one. I believe run differential is what differentiates these two teams. And right now, Indian Land put up a strong number, 9-1. I'll have to talk to Coach Howard after the game to figure that one out. The 1-0. Fastball wide, ball two. Apologies, I forgot the other headset's not on. I turned it off. Here. Allergy's starting to get to me a little bit. The 2-0 is upstairs for a fastball. It'll be 3-0 here to the cleanup hitter, Cross George. Where's the pollen now that the sun's out? The pollen really starting to float around the air. Not my friend. The 3-0 on the way. Fastball wide, a 4-pitch walk to George. Puts 2 runners on with 1 away. You know, all the Falcons wondering who will go tonight. Assuming it's probably Jake Rexford or Chase Caffey for the Miller School. For us, it looks like it's not going to be Sam McCutcheon. Got potentially a Charlie Scott on deck, trying to cover up the hot spot. Oh, okay. Oh, I mean, I muted you if it's... Oh, go gosh. Let's not have that overheat at all. First pitch, fastball wide, ball one, maybe a breaking ball here. It's Jones Bell who's been on once today. Well, Lexington has all the talent. Right now, they're not, playing up to what you think they could be doing, but if they can string a couple hits together, no run's been safe in this tournament. The 1-0 fastball's wide, ball two. Saw Dorman crack into a massive lead from T.C. Robertson. We're unable to finish it off, though. Should grab my sunglasses before coming out here for this one. The 2-0. Fastball upper on the ice, 3-0. In danger of walking the bases loaded for Alan Hegler. The 3-0 on the way. Fastball wide, back-to-back 4-pitch walks will load him up here in the 5th. And let's get interesting. Leo Mattern, who's been solid so far today, limiting Lexington to 5 hits and only 1 earned run. Now has the bases juiced and 1 out here in the 5th for Alan Hegler, the man who only has the only run of the game for this Lexington team, a solo blast over the left field wall. It's been an epic couple days of baseball. This is the first game that's been a little more lopsided this late into the game. Can Lexington play along with that script? Start to fight their way back here a little bit. Bases juiced, 1 away.
First baseman Alan Hegler.
Hegler will dig in. Right on right, bases juiced. Infield playing back. First pitch to Hegler. Fastball call, strike one on the outside part of the plate. Big pitch from Mattern, finally finds the zone. To Hegler, who hits 500 with runners in scoring position. A big time moment for him. The sophomore awaits, the 0-1. Is chopped foul to the left side. It's quickly 0-2 here. After back-to-back walks, this is how Leo Mattern needs to respond. Mattern comes set, kicks and deals the pitch. That one slammed into deep center field, but right at Armstrong. He drifts back towards the wall, makes the grab at the warning track for out number 2. Tagging at second will be George. He goes to third, and tagging at third is Kuiper. He'll score the second run of the game for Lexington. Mattern gets a hard, loud second out of the inning. A sacrifice fly for Alan Hegler. He has now both RBIs today, and it's a 9-2 lead for Indian Land. However, they're not done quite yet. Mattern to Madden. Ethan Madden up for the second time. He singled his last go around.
Standing at the plate, catcher number 23, Ethan Madden.
So Leo Mattern on the hill. Ethan Madden at the dish. The young catcher was hit by a pitch yesterday and just won a plate appearance against the Falcons. Now he awaits at the dish, but before that, a pickoff back to first, not in time. Jones Bell occupies first base for the Wildcats. This Lexington team will get the Miller School tomorrow. Indian Land will get AC Flora. Airport Dorman will be, I know the 4 o'clock game. I believe this is the 11 o'clock or the 1 o'clock game tomorrow for Lexington. The first pitch is sliced over to the second baseman and caught in a line by Matthew Better to retire this side. Lexington again threatens, but can only bring one across off a sac fly. They trail by 7, going to the 6th. Well, after now, Tyler, I was talking to Tyler Hernandez between innings, and I was like, so what you doing over the summer? He's like, well, playing Legion, of course. Why should you play Legion? Well, first of all, it's free. I mean, that's the only answer you really need, but it's worth the better competition. You have to play a lot of these AC Flora Falcons. You see all the talent on the field. Yeah, play Legion. You have Tyler Hernandez, Sam McCutcheon, Roper, Wensky. I know all playing Legion. I'm assuming Jackson will come back. Potentially Joe Ray. I know Dylan said he's playing a little bit of Legion as well. A bunch of AC Flora Falcons you see play Legion. I mean, as you said, Sam, it's all about community. He said, I feel like I'm playing for something bigger than just myself and the summer baseball. So play some Legion. It's a ton of fun. Coach Dorsey would love to have you. We're going to be on here to talk with him later in the game, in the night. He'll be here in the Miller game. And of course, his day job, the Big Red Box Dumpster Company. They're an all-inclusive private waste disposal company offering 15, 30, and 40-yard dumpster rentals in Columbia, South Carolina. They service both residential driveways and commercial customers. You're in good hands with the Big Red Box Dumpster Company. Visit them online at bigredboxdumpstercompany.com and give them a call at 803-783-6834 to book a dumpster today. Of course, you get to watch Legion. It'll be featured on Definite Fiction for Legion. And of course, Coach Dorsey does such a great job supporting young men in this area, the Richland County area, as well as, the Midlands. And he's a big sponsor for us here for AC Flora Athletics and Definite Fiction. We are much appreciated for him. Well, it looks like took a little while for Madden to get the gear on. He's jogging out right now. He was the final out of last inning as the sun is fully out. A lot of sunglasses out in the outfield here as the sun starts to descend over the trees here in Forest Acres. It's about a 2-hour descent before it ends up going completely behind the trees around the first, second inning here at Falcon Field. And we'll move to the top of the 6th. Indian Land jumped all out over the Wildcats, scoring 7 in the first 2 innings before adding 2 last inning. It'll be 4, 5, 6. Roberson Rose better here in the top half. The southpaw Kaczynski fires. The first pitch is the curveball, called strike 1 right down the heart of the plate. Roberson was brilliant on the hill at the dish so far today. Hit by pitch and an RBI single. The 0-1 to the southpaw is low, ball 1. The great GM Stevens in the house. He'll be on PA for the nightcap. The 1-1, that one's topped over to the first base side and foul. Got the good old Zaxby's there. Zaxby's in the hand. Dinner of champions right here. Of course, a couple long days here at Forest Acres. Me and him both got here before 9 o'clock. The 1-2 is shot right back foul right at me. Did you flinch, Jeff?
Yeah, a little bit.
He still hasn't learned.
Take my job. Pretty good.
And you can see him featured on Definite Fiction right now.
Huh?
Your head's on Definite Fiction.
I haven't done that since football.
No, I'm saying you're ball 2 way outside. Jim didn't realize in front of the camera. He's
The Greenville basketball game?
Huh?
The Greenville basketball game?
Yeah, remember that?
recounting some good days. Jim Stevens, Jeff Rose. They've been here a long, long time. The 2-2. That one's grounded through the right side of the infield for a base knock under the glove of the second baseman, Jones Bell. Roberson has his second hit of the day. And a leadoff base runner aboard for the Warriors.
Number 37, right fielder Emerson Rhodes.
So now Emerson Rhodes had a great day as well. Single, he reached on an error as well. Scored 2 runs along with that.
Entering the game to run at first base, number 21, Walker Buzelli.
So now a pitch runner for Roberson. It's Walker Buzelli, the freshman. No stats on him this year, but given their ace of yesterday a chance to rest. Some action over there in the Warriors bullpen. It's been all Mattern so far. They'll be looking to potentially close this one down with another arm. First pitch to Rose, who smacks that one in the deep left field. George going back toward the wall, and he can't run it down. To the one, bounce the wall. Buzelli around second, he'll stand, and Rose with a stand-up double. Well, yesterday, Kaysen Wagner held this Indian Land team in check, Today, these Lexington Arms having trouble doing just that.
Step to the plate. Second
Gonna be
baseman,
calling
number
Andes.
4, Matthew Better.
He's warming up from the bullpen. Matthew Better is on for the 4th time today. He has an RBI, 2 RBI singles. He had one in the second, one in the first, and a flyout. Infield in for the Wildcats. Winning run at the dish. First pitch spiked in the dirt, ball 1. As I said last inning. For the run rule purposes, it is 10 through 5. We'll see if they can hit it here. The 1-0. A grounder over the head. Spivey's able to glove it. Looks back both runners. Throws a hard throw to first, and it's in time for out number 1. Nice play from Christian Spivey. Times his jump on the high. Hopper looks both runners back and makes a strong throw across the diamond. Man, he's been excellent over there at third this tournament. You know, and as Tyler was saying, no one's pitching to him for good reason. You know, without Brandon Cromer,
Number 9,
there's no one that can,
Aaron Hernandez.
you know, that's going to smash her power like Cromer did last year. Is the first pitch to the right-handed Hernandez, a kind of tied up swing that's caught by Coach Bagwell, who throws it right back to the pitcher. You got to use that, right? And Kaczynski's not letting that one go. He's definitely going to throw it again. 0-1.
Hey, you don't win 600 games without having skill.
Coach Rose just said, the 0-1 before that, Coach Rose just said, you don't win 600 games without having skill. You know, Coach Bagwell said last year that he said yesterday to me, he's like, I mean, we'll have a lot of good players. Well, good players indeed. They're up 9-2 over Lexington, looking to sweep them here in this season. The 0-2, swung through and missed. Signed, sealed, delivered. Back-to-back strikes. Strikes out Hernandez now for the 2nd time today, and there's 2 away.
Number 2, the left fielder, Eli Wilson.
So now it's Eli Wilson up. He reached base 3 times, 2 walking. 1 time he had a single. He came around to score 1 of the 9 runs. Now the Lexington infield can play back at normal depth. First pitch on the way. Called, strike 1, a changeup on the outside edge. A strong showing from the Indian Land faithful coming all the way down from the Rock Hill area. The 0-1 from Kaczynski. His check swung to the right side. It's a floater in the air that finds the grass in foul grounds. It'll be 0-2. Chris will be back here tomorrow again. AC Flora look at the nightcap. That'll probably be a late leave of absence for Indian Land. Another team is staying here, but I don't believe the parents are. Maybe on Thursday, now that they can potentially lock up a game on Thursday, so they may stay Wednesday night. Sure, we'll figure that out later today. The 0-2. Fastball wide, ball 1. Not terribly long drive, like an hour and a half, but still, you really don't have that drive twice in the span of 12, 18 hours? Probably not. You know, can't speak for them, of course, but that's what I would assume. The 1-2 on the way. Got him looking, strike 3. Paints the corner yellow and blue against the outside edge of Wilson. Back-to-back strikeouts for Kaczynski. Leaves 2 on the base pass for the Warriors as Lexington will come to the dish, trailing 9-2.
Hitter.
We are back here in the bottom of the 6th. The Wildcats of Lexington trail Indian Land 9-2. They'll bring up the bottom, then top. Lawson Umans to start us off. The left-handed DH takes strike one looking on the inner third. Leo Mattern back out there, who's been nothing short of excellent tonight for the Indian Land Warriors. Only 2 earned runs allowed. The 0-1 to Umans. That's line right back up the middle for a base knock. Well, I think Sam said it so well earlier today. The leadoff man has been crucial here in this tournament for pretty much all sides. On the Indian Land side, weirdly enough, they actually haven't had the leadoff man on all but twice. However, we saw it earlier in that Dorman game. That's what really the difference maker felt like in those big innings for Dorman and River Bluff was the leadoff man aboard. A lot of the times they were. Now Hamp Watts on. Not even a lead from Umans. Now he'll take a couple steps off. Watts had one of the weirdest putouts you're going to ever see. The first pitch to him. That one's ground to the hard, ground to the shortstop Compton. On to second for 1. On to first. Not in time. Watts races down the line to beat the throw out for a fielder's choice. Well, he almost had a second double play. The first one really not his fault. Grounded out as the runners kind of got tied up between second and third.
Number 5, third baseman Christian.
Got a unfortunate, really, he's kind of like looking over at first going, really? You're telling me I put the ball in play just for that to happen? But now it's Christian Spivey, who's had a quiet day, just 0 for 2 with a hit by pitch. Mattern's been very carry, impressive stuff from the freshman, the right-hander working around the southpaw, but well, he finally gives Spivey a pitch to hit. Spivey awaits the first pitch, the fastball wide, not there. It's 1-0. Well, you know, I think we were talking to Tyler. Tyler's like, yeah, Cromer was just such a good hitter last year. He said, you know, we faced Lexington early in that season last year. As the 1-0, fastball low for ball 2. He's like, Cromer just felt like such a good hitter, and that was made this Lexington lineup so dangerous. That top to bottom last year was so potent. We talk about all those seniors earlier that left, like 7 impactful seniors off that team. I think 6 of them were everyday starters. The 2-0, off speed away, ball 3. And of course, Spivey hit 4th. Now he's hitting first. Kind of like Banks Alexander, you know, you're trying to get your best hitter as much at-bats as possible. The Shohei Ohtani effect. 3 balls, no strikes. The pitch to Spivey. Not close, ball 4. A 4-pitch walk to the leadoff man, reaching base for the second time today.
Number 6, shortstop Graham Coleman.
So now Graham Coleman up for the 4th time today. Coleman was hit by a pitch as well, but he's also struck out and grounded out. Lexington being limited to only 6 hits today off of Leo Mattern, 2 earned runs. The freshman has been excellent. First pitch to the right-hander. Fastball call, strike one to the outside edge. Immediately attacks the outside part of the plate against Coleman, gets a strike after 4 straight balls to Spivey. The 0-1. Breaking ball is tapped foul right behind home plate. Quickly, 0-2. Unlike last night, the heart of Lexington order has not really been able to come up in the clutch today. All of them have been on, and the only person to really come around and score and do some damage is Kuiper George, the sac fly from Hegler. The 0-2. Breaking ball is rolled over, a chopper to Rutledge at third. He steps on the bag for 1 and will eat the ball, so a fielder's choice. 5 unassisted, out number 2. As now that will bring up the 3-hole hitter, Jackson Kuiper.
Number 10, the right
Kuiper
fielder,
singled his
Jackson
last go-around.
Kuiper.
Leo Mattern, you know, he's usually been a strikeout pitcher this season. I talked about that earlier. 21 strikeouts, 14 walks. Hasn't really found the strikeout that too many times today. Only 2 Wildcats have gone down swinging. Kuiper awaits the first pitch, the fastball up and away, ball 1. Oh, our Falcons were looking at it. Tomorrow, it looks like Emerson Rhodes may be going for Indian Land. Senior making his 4th start of the season. The 1-0. In tight, ball 2. Of course, the Falcons, if they win one of these next 2 games, they will be in at least a Thursday game. Of course, you have to win both to lock in that. You can lose tonight and still make it tomorrow, but you need some help. Especially, I'm not thinking the run rule category. The 2-0. Fastball wide, ball 3. You know, it technically is possible along with the run. You know, you would need Miller to lose, again, ideally. However, you don't need it to happen. It would just help out a lot. The 3-0. Fastball caught the top of the zone for strike one. For AC Flora, potentially with a loss today, they need nowhere to lose or some run rule differential. And right now, Indialand put up a great run differential right now. They're +8 on the tournament. The 3-1. Fastball upstairs. A walk to load him up now for Cross George. We know it kind of goes swept under the rug. You know, Lexington played such a grueling game yesterday where they come out in the losing end. Now thrown back in there against Indialand, and sometimes after, you know, it's kind of a letdown game in a sense. You play such a big, high-energy game. You see it all the time in football. And the next game, I mean, the next day, you're kind of just like, well, and I'm going to say, like, you know, you're not as good, but you're just kind of sluggish out there. You know, didn't bring your best stuff, and seems like Indialand pounced on Lexington after they had a thriller of a win. First pitch, that one's lined in the left center field. That will drop for extra bases. 1 run will score. Coming around third in, scoring is Graham Coleman. Being held at third is Kuiper, and a stand-up double for Cross George. It's now 9-4. A 2 RBI double for Cross George in the left center field gap. It's going to mar a great day for Mattern. He's going to get a couple compliments from Roberson as well as the catcher Carroll.
Those are good runs for us.
Yeah, no, for Falcon faithful, as Jeff Roach just told me behind me, and I agree. Those are good runs for us. This, for AC Flora, you want this game to be as close as humanly possible. It's a good runs given up? Fewest runs given up is the tiebreaker. Okay, so that's live from Jeff Rose. Fewest runs giving up is the tiebreaker. And so we need them to score runs is basically what we need to happen. Now the right-hander steps in the first pitch to Jones Bell's call, strike one, dots the outside part of the plate. Bell's been hit and walked tonight. He's also struck out swinging, so has not put a ball in play yet. Can he do so here at the 0-1 count? Mattern fires the breaking ball over the head of Bell, almost hits him. 1 ball, 1 strike, 2 away now here in the bottom of the 6th. Lexington trailing 4-9. Looking to add some runs in again. Every game in this tournament's come down to the final inning. Can Lexington play along to the script? The 1-1. Fastball just up around the letters, ball 2. Well, Mattern, who has gone now 88 pitches here today, giving up now 4 earned runs off of 7 hits. He has done all he can and more. The 2-1 on the way. Fastball upstairs, ball 3. Well, this is where it gets kind of dangerous a little bit, you know. A 5-run cushion, but man on deck has been the hottest hitter today for Lexington, Alan Hegler. A home run, a ground out, and a sac fly. Kind of don't want him up in this situation, but see if Mattern can find a way out of it. The 3-1 is popped foul right behind home plate, and it'll be a full count here. Long pause. Now, Mattern comes set. Close stance on the rubber. He'll kick and deal. The payoff is flown out to right center field. Armstrong drifts over. Now comes in, shallow to the right center gap, and makes the one-handed grab for out number 3. Lexington threatens, but only can push 2 across. They trail by 5, going to the 7th, excuse me. Welcome back to Forest Acres, South Carolina, home of the 20th annual Forest Acres Classic.
Catcher number 10,
Victor
Jackson
Kaczynski trying to shut it down. He's already given Lexington 4 solid innings of work. Looking for 5 right here. The left-hander will get 9-1-2. It's Carroll who has a sharply hit ball to the third baseman, gloved by Spivey. The South Carolina commit throws it across the diamond for out number 1. He's had a couple of plays like that where it's a scorched ball to him, and he gloves it and just makes the easy throw to first for out number 1. He's been solid all day. Braden Studebaker on the hook for the loss,
15, Cooper
giving up 4
Armstrong.
earned runs off of 6 hits. Now Cooper Armstrong back to the top of the order. He laid down a sacrifice bunt last go-around. 0 for 3. First pitch to him's on the ground to Spivey yet again at third. He's got it. Crow hops across the diamond and makes the play. 2 away. 2 up, 2 down for Christian Spivey. They're not easy plays. He's making them just look routine. Sharply hit balls that he puts his glove down, finds the ball, says that was easy, and throws it
Stepping to
across.
the plate, number 13,
A couple of Warriors from Indian Land warming
shortstop,
up.
Johnny
Matthew Better
Compton.
looks like he'll at least go out there to begin
Number
with, and then
13.
there's Emerson Rose beside him just in case get in some trouble. Indian Land knows how important taking this game is after they upset Miller yesterday. You know, they're looking for a Thursday game. Indian Land with a win will lock up a Thursday game, I believe, no matter where. Technically, no, I guess. They will if AC Flora wins tonight. A long pause. Looks like there's some equipment malfunctions. The home plate umpires have to come and talk to Johnny Compton, who's waiting on deck. And technically, they could find themselves in a 3-way tie after winning the first 2. So, Indian Land not marked up for one yet, but of course, if the Falcons do, then it's a battle for first place tomorrow night, live on Definite Fiction. The southpaw Kaczynski delivers. First pitch away, ball 1 against the right-hander. The only team that's out of it right now is River Bluff. Lexington could be eliminated with a loss today. Well, will be eliminated with a loss today. The 1-0. Breaking ball away, ball 2. TC Robertson will go to the championship game tomorrow, or on Wednesday. Thursday, whatever day it is. Robertson knocking off Dorman, and then beat Airport today. A scrappy team that not a ton of power they hit for, but they just single you to death and they'll get a big hit here or there. Very well coached, very defensively sound, the 2-0. Fastball called, strike 1 on the outside edge, 2-1. And you know, that's one of those dangerous teams to play against. A team that doesn't make mistakes. Winding and dealing, the 2-1. Fastball runs in, ball 3. It's now 3-1. The Rams knocked off Airport today, the defending 4A state champs, and they knocked off the favorites to win 5A on Monday. A great showing for TC Robertson. I think Liam Roberson for Indian Land really messed me up by saying that. I've said that multiple times. Call strike 2 after the breaking ball dips into the lower part of the zone. You know, having a Liam Roberson and then TC Robertson, it's really annoying. Someone should change their name. Help me out a little bit. Well, the payoff from Kaczynski on the way. Compton watches ball 4 go by. Hello, fastball. Puts a 2 off space, runner aboard. Only the second walk Kaczynski's allowed. And now his 54 pitches. He's gone 4 2/3 innings, and looks like no one's in the bullpen. I'm assuming he'll get the rest. No more run rule in play. We're in the 7th.
Number 1,
So Indian Land can bat until their heart's content.
Rutledge, the second.
Joseph Rutledge, the second's had a quiet day. 2 walks, a fly out of the ground out so far. He was the difference yesterday against Miller, smacking a solo blast. The first pitch on the way. Breaking ball called, strike 1 on the inside part of the plate. Right-handed junior awaits. One of the top catchers in this junior class, a stacked junior class, the 0-1. Fastball called, strike 2. Paints the outside part of the plate. Now it's 0-2. Time called. Rutledge will call time. Well, you've been treated here at the Classic. 6 incredible games to start the Classic. This is the first game that's really feels sort of out of reach in a sense. I mean, it's not out of reach yet, but Lexington has a chance to come up in the bottom of the 7th. But with Dorman, a lot of their time, it's a balk, the second balk of the day. This one's going to go against Kaczynski. Tyler did such a good job talking about that earlier. With, you know, he said as a left-hander, you cannot make any distinction, you're going home. They said Kaczynski did so right there. Compton will move into scoring position at second for Rutledge. The 0-2 now. Breaking ball's tapped back up the middle. That's going to find a gap for the base hit. Watts will dig it instead of coming up, firing around third as Compton. The throw into home is just offline. Can't glove it as Madden. An RBI single, and Compton will take second off the throw. It's now a 10-4 lead for Indian Land with 2 away here in the 7th. Liam Roberson back to the dish. Roberson's having a great day. 2 singles, a hit by pitch, and a line out.
First baseman, number 39.
The southpaw did everything he could on the mound yesterday. And now we'll have a chance to continue being hot at the dish. He has an RBI. That was all the way back in the first inning. Left on left first pitch. That one's rolled over to the second baseman, Bell. Has it on the hop. Throw across to first base is in time for the third out of the inning. But a 2-out base knock from Joseph Rutledge gives Indian Land a 10-4 lead. We'll go to the bottom of the 7th. Lexington's going to need 6 to keep in this one.
1 run.
Welcome back to Falcon Field. It's the bottom of the 7th here in game number 7 of the Forest Lakers Classic. We're almost halfway done with the tournament.
First baseman, Alan.
It'll now be Alan Hegler leading it off for Lexington. They have Hegler, Madden, and Humans up here in the 7th, trailing by 6, and a new pitcher to greet him, Colin Andes. Leo Mattern pitched 6 innings of 4 earned run baseball off of 7 hits. He did his job as he's in line for the win. The first pitch in this right-handed showdown stays in tight for ball 1. Mattern will be in line for his 3rd win of the season and his 4th start. Did a great job of limiting a towering Lexington lineup. And now Colin Andes will try to finish the job, making his 5th appearance, giving up 7 earned runs this season over 4 1/3 innings pitched. And so we actually heard Tyler talking about this rule earlier. I believe it was Studebaker who got corrected on this rule earlier, or maybe it was Leo Mattern, actually, rather. It was the other side. Studebaker Lexington's got the box. It's Mattern with the rubber. These umpires saying you have to have your foot in an angle to the rubber when you're pitching. Tyler said he got knocked out as a freshman. He's never done it since. The 1-0 called. Strike 1 in the inside part of the plate. A fastball makes it 1-1 the count here against Hegler. Hegler 1 for 2 with a homer and a ground out, as well as a sacrifice fly today. He has 2 of the 4 RBIs. Winding and dealing, the right-hander will spike a pitch home, Andes. It's 2-1 now. Well, this game was pretty close to the end of it. Spivey hit a grand slam to get Lexington back into the first game between these two teams. This one, can Lexington find a rally here in the 7th? The 2-1 on the way home is a bit inside for ball 3. Winding and dealing. The 3-1 from Andes. That one's lined. Hot shot down the third base line, but it will hook foul. Miller School out in full force. They get ready for the nightcap in a familiar foe, EC Flora. I keep telling our Falcons looking for a little revenge here against the Miller School. You know, every time I say they don't seem to game, they're like, you know, we're just looking to win today. So, you know, Charles tells you as a journalist, the story we paint, not the story always being told. Hegler golfs that one down the left field line. It goes foul. 3-2. Of course, the story of that game is 2 incredible games, both won by the Miller School these last 2 years. Falcons is, you know, I think both Roper and Tyler said, you want to win this thing. You know, we haven't won this thing yet. We haven't won one of these since 2018, the Forest Acres Classic. So they're looking to bring one home. The payoff to Hegler one more time is a hot shot over into left field. Carrying back at the track, and it's gone! Alan Hegler, a 2-home run day. And Lexington cuts the lead back down. It's now 10-5.
Ladies and gentlemen, that is a home run. Number 4, first baseman, Alan Hegler.
Hegler had a
His
slower
second
start today.
of the game.
Which is, you know, he started off a little slower this season, only came in hitting 278. Comparatively, he was almost hitting 300 last year. Now he's having a very strong Forest Acres Classic. 2 for 4, a double, 2 homers, and now 4 RBIs. We'll be right back here. Another pitching change here at Falcon Field. Angie's day is done.
Catcher number 23.
Welcome back to
Ethan
Falcon Field.
Madden to the plate.
A solo shot number 2 today for Alan Hegler. Puts Lexington down by 5 now. Ethan Madden will step in against Matthew Better. The second baseman will come into pitch. Should be a new second baseman now for the Warriors. And strike 1 thrown by the right-hander Matthew Better. He was warming up between innings, but they opted not to throw him in there through Andes. Yeah, he gave up a blast, and now Better will try to close the deal here. The 0-1. Ties him up, a check swing right back to the pitcher. Better comes off, fields it. The throw to first is low, and it bounces. Is it? Not in time. Well, a little life here for Lexington. An error by the pitcher. He was just at second base, and I guess just couldn't get a grip on that one. So Matthew Better, all of a sudden, kind of just finding a little, not his groove. See if he can figure it out here. Now the left-handed, lost in humans. Runner on first, nobody out here. First pitch to him, fastball called, strike 1 on the outside edge.
Is a courtesy runner, Caden Blight.
Caden Blight will courtesy run at first. I believe Compton moved over to
At the plate,
second.
Number 15, Lawson Yoder.
Trying to see who moved over to short right now. The 0-1 to Humans. That is line over the first baseman's head. That'll drop for a fair ball down the right field line. Blight on his way to third. Humans on his horse to second. They're going to hold Blight up. No need for that run to score quite yet.
He missed first.
Oh, no.
I'm not sure if
So Jeff is, well, I won't say that out loud, but find out momentarily. So Johnny Compton will stay at short.
Getting to the plate, number 28, center fielder, Hamp.
At second, it will be trying to for a minute. Declan Arrett, been using the pitch hitter. First hit pitch to now Hamp Watts is called strike one. Well, Jeff now is saying he missed first. But got the pitch in, so I'll say it now. I don't want to cause a team because people watching the stream can try to time in. Ball one inside to Watts. I don't want to, it's not my job as an announcer. My job as an announcer is to call the game how it is, not to impact it. Now Watts, the ball thrown to the backstop. Blight will hold up the courtesy runner for the catcher. Well, the first three batters of the inning reached, and what's the scary part here for better is now the count is 3-0. Is that this is the bottom of the order. You walk Watts, Spivey's addition, there's nowhere to put him. He already had a grand slam against these Warriors. The 3-0 from better. Fastball wide, a 4-pitch walk. That'll load him up for Spivey. Well, here we go. Drama here at the Classic yet again. Better making his 5th appearance. Not allowed an earned run over 3 1/3 inning pitch. Came after Colin Andes allowed a solo shot to Alan Hegler.
Number 5.
And right on cue,
Christian
you're going to talk to your pitcher. We'll be right back here on Definite Fiction. Drama may be brewing. We are back here live on Definite Fiction. It's the 20th annual Forest Acres Classic, and trouble brewing. Bases juiced, nobody gone here. A 5-run deficit for Lexington. Christian Spivey at the dish who smacks one over to the first baseman. Liam Robertson has it on the hump. Will step on the bag and beat Spivey. It's an RBI grounded out as Kanan Blight, the courtesy runner, comes home. It's the second run of the inning. However, no, not really complaining Indian land. They're going to get the shutout. They still have a 4-run cushion now as it's 10-6.
Number 6, Graham Coleman.
Spivey grounds out. Has yet to have a hit so far in this tournament. No one's pitching to him except for the double that Tyler said he's going to throw Roper Wensky under the bus for. I said it was a double, and he's like, yeah, it's Roper's fault. It's like, oh, okay. First pitch low, ball 1. I don't usually throw people under the bus, but Tyler Hernandez took no time in doing so. I guess he was pitching. He has a reason. Now Graham Coleman up. Reached base off a fielder's choice last go-around where he came home on the RBI double from George. 1-0. Fastball inside, ball 2. Well, Coleman can get on. That will bring the tying run to the dish here in the bottom of the 7th. The count is 2-0. 1 away. Runners at second and third as Lexington trails by 4. Matthew Better winds and deals the pitch. Fastball up around the letters, ball 3. And we talk about it a little bit. You can have that high of getting out such a big hitter in Spivey that you're like, you loosen up a bit. And all of a sudden you find yourself behind 3-0. And Graham Coleman's no slouch of a hitter either. The pitch. Fastball up and in. And the tying run will come to the plate with 1 out. There is some more action. And Matthew Better is loading them up here, and the tying run will come to the plate. Coach Bagwell will come out and talk again. This may be all for Better. They were warming up the man they threw yesterday in the bullpen. And it looks like he's going to come on here in a massive, crucial spot. He pitched 2 innings yesterday. Can Eberhardt come out and close out the Wildcats? We'll find out when we return. Well, there's drama brewing here at Falcon Field. Day 2 of the Forest Acres Classic. Game number 7. Indian has been in control since the opening jump. Came out to a 4-0 lead before Lexington came to bat. A 7-0 lead through the top of the second. They went up basically 9-1, and now Lexington's brought it back to 4. The tying run of the dish. Jackson Kuiper. Bases juiced, 1 away. Of course, it's never easy here at Falcon Field to be Aaron Eberhardt back out for the second straight day. The first pitch to Kuiper. Fastball in tight, but called strike 1. Eberhardt got the save against Miller yesterday, pitching 2 scoreless innings. He's now on for his 8th appearance, looking to clean it up. The 0-1. Swung on and missed. Breaking ball that hurt nothing in 2. Kuiper has walked and singled today. He's also lined out and grounded out. 1 for 3. Kuiper hitting 4 for 8 with runners in scoring position, looking to hit in the clutch here. The right-hander, Eberhardt, comes home, the 0-2. That one's lined through the left side of the infield. That will find a base knock. One will score, racing around third. Hamp Watts on a line. The throw will go into second, and the tying run is at first with 1 out. I mean, here we go. U-Man scores from third. Watt scores coming around second. The bottom of the order, 6, 7, 8, 9 have all come up and scored. Graham Coleman at second.
George.
And now Jackson Kuiper, a 2 RBI single, brings the tying run onto the base path. And now Cross George. He already had a 2 RBI double last at bat. The right-hander awaits the first pitch, breaking ball called. Strike 1, breaking right across the heart of the dish. Well, this game looked over, all of a sudden playing along with what's been the Forest Acres Classic script. We have drama brewing here late. The 0-1. Breaking ball, that one's a deep fly ball to left field. Wilson looks up, and Cross George ends it! Lexington scores 7 in the bottom of the 7th to walk off the Warriors!
Ladies and gentlemen.
Leo Mattern pitches a gem, but Cross George sends one to the stratosphere to end it. The Warriors 2 outs away from locking up what potentially could be another game this week. Now will play for their lives tomorrow against AC Flora. Oh.
Streaming on. What are you streaming on?
YouTube.
To listen to it.
Yeah, Definite Fiction.
What?
Our YouTube channel called, it's for AC Flora, Definite Fiction.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Because I'm not going to be here tomorrow.
I got you, I'll be here. Wow, a walk-off blast for Cross George, his 3rd homer of the season. And a dramatic ending at the Classic. Every game delivers, every single one.
Coaches, as a reminder, please bring
And
your
yet,
score
the
sheet,
nightcap
stat
bring us
sheet
Miller
up
and
to the
AC
press
Flora.
box or the concession
If it's been
stand.
like this,
And fans, get
I can't
ready
imagine
for
what the
game
next one's going to bring
4.
us. We'll be right back here, 7 o'clock first pitch time. Lexington scores 7, only getting 1 out in the 7th to walk off Indian Land. We'll be back here later.